Let's get nasty on a Wednesday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, and Andrew Marsham. Anthony Stalter, 201, your time check, brought to you by Collection Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Cardinals up right now on the Diamondbacks 2-1 in the bottom of the seventh inning, excuse me. So the Cardinals rally. They were trailing 1-0 virtually the entire game because the Diamondbacks got a run in the first inning. The Cardinals bats stayed silent. I wouldn't even say fell silent.
Wild pitch helped him, Anthony.
Hey, you know what?
You said it this time, not me. There you go.
I didn't say
There
it.
you go, St. Louis. It wasn't me. Wasn't me this
It's
time.
not like anybody had a knock.
Cloud. It's a cloud. No, it's sunny skies outside.
That's much cloud over here.
Let's give credit where credit is due. Now, they did lose 14-1 last night, but,
Don't worry about that.
pretty sure those two touchdowns will come off the board at some point.
Hey, that's a good effort. Matt's had his game going. Just ask Ollie.
Oh, we'll get into that. But, Kyle Gibson got himself into some trouble in the top of the fifth inning and wound up working his way out of it. And then the Cardinals were able to scratch 2 runs across in the bottom of the sixth to take the lead. So your pitching, say for last night and some random blow-ups, your pitching has been fairly good. It's been the offense that has been quiet. But if you pick up a win, that's all that matters. And Mason Wynn just did the whole snake thing for our snake pit today.
That's
the Alliance
what
Team
it's for.
YouTube channel.
Yep.
So, excellent. But the news of the day is that Jordan Walker and Zack Thompson were sent to Memphis. Carey, what's your instant reaction with specifically Jordan Walker being sent out?
Not surprising. I mean, he's been struggling this season. In comparison to last season when he got sent down, they sent him down because of launch angle, which I wasn't a fan of. The young man had a 12-game hitting streak at one point to start the season off. He was hitting the ball on the ground hard. He was hitting the ball on the ground, but he was hitting it hard. I felt like at some point he would eventually reach the point that they needed him. I hated him being sent down last year. This year, I can understand because it's not looked good. He's looked out of sorts. He's looked uncomfortable at the plate. He hasn't had success. And when you're not having success, it's really hard to find your way back into it, especially as a young player. So hopefully he can go down. Same thing with Victor Scott. We kind of said the same thing. Go down, face some AAA pitching, get more comfortable because, yes, there's a step between Major League and AAA, but there are some guys that obviously are going to be in the majors that he's going to be facing. So get comfortable doing what you do best. Take away some of the anxiety, some of the pressure, and just get back to doing what got you to this point. And I think if you do that, he'll be okay.
It was necessary. Guys, he's been scratched a couple of games in a row. They're finding limited duties for him throughout the game. He's being replaced at the end of games for defensive liabilities. Like, what are you doing here? He's 21 years old. Do you want to ruin him, or do you want him to end up being the impact player that you thought he could be? This is a necessary move to accomplish that.
Yeah.
He needs to go down to Memphis, work on his swing, continue to work on his defense in the outfield, and then when he's good and ready, and this team is ready to have him come aboard, and what I mean by that is they're not giving you 14-1 losses. They're not, the bottom of the division. This team is ready for a guy like Jordan Walker when they're 500 plus, when they're 4 or 5 games out of the division lead. Like, that's when you insert a player like that because you're no longer requiring that young player to be amazing to help you through it. Now he's an accent piece, and the pressure's off of him at that point. So this was a necessary move for the Cardinals to send Jordan Walker down, especially because he's 21 years old. He has his entire career ahead of him.
Yeah, you guys are right. I mean, if you look at it, it doesn't really matter what statistics you look at for Jordan Walker, whether you want to look at just the batting average, which I know a lot of people are still, they still base their baseball offensively off of batting average. It's 155. On base, 239. He's slugging 259.
Yes.
Through 20 games and 67 plate appearances. It's not a ton, but holy smokes.
It's not even. It just looks out of sorts. I mean, you can look at the on-base percentage and say he's not seeing the ball well enough to even gain walks. And he's not getting on base. He's struggling at the plate.
And that, Carey, would play into the fact that he's third behind Gorman and Goldschmidt for strikeout rate. He's got the third highest strikeout rate on the team. You mentioned the walks. He draws fewer walks than everybody outside of Herrera, Gorman, Arenado, Burleson, and Scott. Scott was sent down. Burleson, obviously a part-time player. Arenado at least has been giving you hits. Gorman gave you the blast the other night. He just hasn't produced.
Right.
If you look at more advanced metrics like the one that I like to use, which is WRC plus, Jamie, average
100.
He's at 44. He's off to a rough season, so a rough start to the season. And you're right, he's young. You send him down, you hope to get him right, and you hope to bring him right back up. And you've got outfielders
do you bring him right
now.
Back up? I don't know
If he gets right.
I don't know if I do.
I honestly feel like I don't think this has to be a long process. For me, it feels like it's just about gaining confidence as opposed to actually being a good player. We know he's a really good player. He's going to be a really good player. He's going to mature.
You think?
I think some people you can tell better than others. And I think we saw a lot of it last year. Like I said, to come up to start the season off, to have a 12-game hitting streak, obviously he wasn't hitting the ball in the air, but he was hitting it and getting on base, which is kind of important in baseball. You get on base, you can score. If not, you got to hit one over the fence. But he was doing pretty much everything. The defense was lacking last year. This year, I think it's just a confidence thing. So for me, even if it was 2 weeks of him just going down and raking and them saying, okay, he's back. Because we saw it last year. It's not like we didn't have a sample of it last year. We've seen him have success at the big league level. So it's not that he can't do it. I think he's in a funk right now, and the only way for him to get out of that is to hit a few balls over the fence and have some confidence, and that is going to happen in the minor leagues.
Did he really have that consistency, though, last year?
I think when he came back up, yes.
You think?
I think he was. Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think he was hitting the ball.
He had
was
the
driving the ball.
consistency. I think that he did okay.
A rookie.
That's fine. We can categorize it any way we want. For a rookie, for a young guy, for whatever. It's fine. My point is I'm not against Jordan Walker. Mm-hmm. What I'm pushing back against is the Cardinals' process with him. And I go back, all I have to do for my scouting report on how they handle things is look at Dylan Carlson. How did they handle Dylan Carlson? They fast-tracked him along a little bit, and then he was cold, dead hands, and then he was not good, and then he was injured, and all this stuff. And he's still a young guy.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Cardinals screwed that up to where he is now, to where you're like, he's a fourth outfielder, and maybe a little trade bait. Jordan Walker has not provided the consistency. He's only had 1 year-ish in the majors. He's 21 years old. You send him down now, I think if he starts to get hot after 2 weeks, you call him back up. That's just a hot streak. That doesn't mean that he's actually figured things out. Go down for a month. Show me a month worth of at-bats so that it becomes a real thing. That it's not just a 7-day span of smoking the ball against a crap team in AAA who might have a pitcher who can barely pitch at that level. He's called up from AA or whatever it is. I'm just telling you, I want it to become a regular thing, not a little quick thing of like, he's fixed, we'll bring him back now.
For me, it's more of a confidence than a talent thing. I don't think.
I disagree. Have you watched him out there?
I have.
His technique, his swing, everything is off.
Yeah, when you start pressing, you start doing things out of the ordinary, and you start struggling. So for me, I think it's more of a.
Or is it the other way around? You're not executing properly, so now the confidence gets shot.
Well, I think everybody. The projections for him are to be a really good
projections, fine.
But that's all we can go off of because we haven't seen anything else. Like you project players to be really good, and if he has those, if everybody that watches baseball and has projected him, he's a first round draft pick. He's supposed to be the next coming of whatever in the outfield.
They also did the same thing with Dylan Carlson.
But Dylan Carlson was also going to be the starting center fielder, and this is his third year this year.
I know, but Carey, this is
year
my
he ran
point.
into a brick wall. They're both down in the minors trying to figure it out right now.
The fact that they ran into each other is one thing, but look at the way the development was handled of Dylan Carlson. This is why I'm standing firm on this. I think the Cardinals
that's a Cardinals thing.
I'm not saying it. Why do you think I'm against Jordan Walker?
No, I don't think you are. I'm just saying that's, to me, that's a different issue than...
No, I think that's the main issue is the Cardinals' handling of development. You look across the major leagues, look how many young, great players are out there that didn't develop here in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Dylan Carlson's just one that you still have in-house. Jordan Walker's the next example. Now's the time to do it properly. But no, I don't mean like he's going to fail. Yeah. I mean, now's the time to do it properly. That's why sending him down for 10 days to 2 weeks, no. Let him get settled in. Let it become an everyday thing where he is by far the best player on the field every day so that he forces you to bring him back up. Not just bring him back up because, well, we like the kid and he projects to be a hell of a player.
Right.
Are you only talking, though, Jamie, just to clarify, about like really young top prospects?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, that's all I can do. And when I'm talking about Jordan Walker, it's a high-end top prospect that everybody's projecting to be a certain player.
I only want to specify that because if you say they can't develop anybody or any young player, obviously they got guys at the big league level now with Donovan. When Edmund's not hurt,
I didn't say every
develop.
young player, but look across the majors.
That's why I wanted. That's why I wanted to clarify about young top-end prospects, because you're right about Carlson and Walker. That's all I'm just saying.
Yeah, and
it's not.
I'll even expand that though a little bit. Is for this particular conversation, yeah, I'm using Carlson and Walker as the examples. But if we want to expand the conversation, Brendan Donovan, they developed a great job. They also didn't develop all the other guys around the major leagues right now that are having like big success, like Lane Thomas. They traded him for John Lester, who had a handful of starts left in his career. And now Lane Thomas has gone on to do that. So where was it, just talent recognition, or they couldn't develop him? Because Lane Thomas struggled here in St. Louis. He did. He looked uncomfortable. We were together doing the midday show at the time. We liked him, but man, he just looks uncomfortable. He doesn't look settled. Like
Janet's mic drop that we hear all the time when she says, "Anthony, you don't watch the games," the one that everybody loves. That was talking. I was talking about Lane Thomas, and he had misplayed a ball in the outfield, and I said, at some point, you're just going to have to develop some of that confidence and get him back out there. And that's when Janet said, you don't watch the games. So to your point, you're right. There was at one point you and I were like, man, maybe you got something in Lane Thomas, but you just couldn't figure it out.
And there's just been, you can use the easy examples too. The Arenas and all that stuff. That's fine. But I'm just saying, I was a guy that went through this. Now, I wasn't projected to be a Jordan Walker, but not far off at the time. You guys, everybody can go back and Google and have a look at the scouting report coming in the NHL. I was up and down from the minors like 10 times my first year. I was up and down again in my second year from the minors. Why? Because I needed time to become the best at that level so that when I went to the NHL, I didn't go back. And this is where I think baseball screws it up sometimes, in particular the Cardinals over the last handful of years with Carlson and with Walker, is they have good spring trainings. Like last year, that was the thing. Walker had a great spring training. Comes up, and he does get the 12-game hitting streak, but then after that, it was like everybody knew, like, it was like, okay, he needs to get some work done here. They send him down, they call him back up quickly. He had an okay season. He had an okay season on a really bad team, for whatever it's worth. This year, he's just not been good at all. He just hasn't been. So let him go down there. Let him dominate. Let him get that extra work, those at-bats, the high-pressure situations, all of that, so that when he comes back here, he is that top prospect, that he is that guy that can dominate the majors. Again, he's only 21 years old. Let him go figure it out.
That's Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Well, there's protecting your players, and then there's what we saw last night with Ollie Marmol and Steven Matz. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Anthony, you don't watch the game.
Well, if you have kids especially, you know that you can't buy much for $20 these days. Even fast food is out of pocket right now. It's crazy. But at R&R Tire Express, $20 does get you tires. That's right. Put $20 down at R&R, and you're going to drive away with not one, not two, not three, but a full set of 4 new tires today. And that installation fee, yeah, there is no installation fee because it's on R&R Tire Express. Request a quick quote at rnrtires.com to lock in your $20 deal. There's no commitment, there's no credit checks, and there's no worries because R&R Tire Express, they offer flexible weekly, bi-weekly and monthly payment options based on your budget. Plus, you're going to secure, that peace of mind coverage that includes free tire rotations, free flat repair, and much more. You're $20 away from hitting the road on reliable tires. So why wait? Request that quick quote at rnrtires.com, or you can call 1-833-ROLL-NOW. Again, 1-833-ROLL-NOW to get started today with R&R Tire Express. Cardinals up 3-1 right now in the bottom of the 8th. Trying to get a series victory, gentlemen, against Arizona, despite that 14-1 loss last night.
That count.
That definitely does count. Steven Matz, 4 1/3 innings, scattered 6 hits, 7 runs. All 7 were earned. Struck out 4, walked 3, gave up a ding-dong Johnson. And after the game, Ollie Marmol held him accountable and took him to task. Here's what he said.
I actually thought it was one of his better outings, to be quite honest with you. The line doesn't show that, but from a pitch standpoint, Vila was there, walking the 9-hole in that inning. That kind of led to some runs. Wasn't ideal, but Walker took a good swing off of him for the most part. I thought he actually did a pretty decent job. It didn't go our way.
Carey, your thoughts?
Oh, man. Maybe he was talking about the game before his last.
No,
Said last night.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is when there are times when I watch certain sports. Obviously, I didn't play baseball at a high level, and it makes me feel like maybe I don't know enough. The text line tells me all the time, stick to football. So in scenarios like this, I feel like maybe I should just stick to football because I don't think that was a good start. I don't think if you give up that many runs, I don't think if you lose 14-1, I don't think anything about that game should warrant positivity. I think, and Jamie, you've coached. You've been in locker rooms. I've coached. I've been in locker rooms. There are times where our coach would literally come in and say, you know what? We're probably going to burn the film. We don't need to watch this. Yeah. There is nothing to learn from that, which means there is nothing good that took place that we're going to watch. You watch this, you're going to be depressed. And I watched it as a coach, and I'd be damned if I'm depressed again 2 days in a row. So
have a bourbon with it. It's better.
I don't know that it gets better. You might fall asleep. That's the only way it gets better.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think that there was much to say. I think Ali does that to boost up his guys and make sure that they are, not getting down. But there's an element of being honest and being open and being accurate when you're talking to the media. And if you say that was a good performance, then they're not going to believe you.
No, they're not going to take you seriously.
Yeah.
And I think if you ask Steven Matz, he would say flat out, I didn't have it tonight. Mm-hmm. Obviously. I served up too many over the plate that were easy to hit, and that's why they hit them. Like, I wasn't painting the corners. I wasn't controlling the count. And I don't know what website that is where you can pull up, like, all the hard contact.
Oh, I got it right here in front of me.
I figured. I saw you typing away there. I can always tell because you can hear the keyboard going. It's really loud in the background.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I knew you had something loaded up there. So before I go to what the actual numbers say and let you handle that, Anthony, the performance it obviously wasn't good enough, but Ollie loses credibility when he gets on a platform like that. Like, how can you take that seriously? Not one person in Cardinal Nation took that seriously. Mm-hmm. And there's one thing, Carey, to your point, like, stick it up for your players. You got your players back. All I would have said is, hey, look, Steven Matz has been very solid, and there's a lot of pitches that he's executing very well. He obviously wasn't locating it properly tonight. They had the bats going. They hit left-handed pitching very well. We thought he could get through it. It didn't work out. You know, we'll take that one here. We'll put it in the bank. We'll be ready to go for the next start. Like, there you go. You're done. You're done. Like,
you didn't crush anybody.
You didn't crush him. You said that he had good stuff but didn't locate it quite right, or their bats were hot. Like, you said a lot of stuff without saying anything.
Right.
Now, what do the real numbers say, Anthony?
Well, Jamie, glad you asked. First 2 innings were good. He got a fly out, 2 strikeouts. Went to the second inning, fly out, strikeout, walk, force out. Done. When he got into the third, he got a fly out, but then he had the 2 walks. Did get Marrero to strike out. Gave up a single to Gurriel Jr. Thank you. That extended my streak. But then the home run of Christian Walker was smoked at 105.7 miles per hour.
Is that good?
That's
fast.
Very good.
Okay.
Then the single and a fly out. Then when you move further here, they started to hit him a lot harder. I guess from a hard hit standpoint, there wasn't a lot, except for Marte did go 101.7 off him, Moreno 104.9. When they got contact, they absolutely smoked it.
What was their barrel rate, though?
I don't have the barrel rate in front of me.
Because I feel like when I was watching that, like, they weren't just kind of hitting the ball.
Yeah. No, they were smoking it.
Like, they were hitting it on the screws.
Yeah, they were. He wasn't fooling anybody.
Exactly.
And when you don't have your command, look, 4 walks and 4 1/3, you can't have that. So that's something you can't explain away. 4 walks, 4 1/3. And when you did have to go over the plate, you got crushed.
Yeah.
So you didn't have command. It happens as a pitcher. But when you don't have command and you're walking everybody, and eventually you do have to start attacking hitters, Christian Walker's going to beat you. All big league hitters are going to beat you. Most of them.
It's why it's so puzzling that Ollie would take that moment to shield his player.
After that loss, we lost 14-1. Let's get it out there.
Yeah.
We stumped tonight. Any questions?
We
didn't hit well enough. No,
great hit by Contreras.
That was to get it going. That was awesome. We got one on the board, but we didn't do much else after that.
Did anybody have Contreras last night?
No,
I did.
Did you?
Yeah,
Did you?
I had him.
Oh, really? That's right, because you texted the Contreras. Yeah, nice job.
Good job, Jamie.
Hey, right here, look at that. Contreras. I actually keep track of this stuff.
So you got 4 now.
Yeah, baby.
Is it Contreras a 1-pointer?
He's a 1-pointer.
He's a 1-pointer. Yep.
All right, you lucky dog.
Take any points at this point.
At this point,
Seriously, I still got the goose egg.
Cardinals too. But you come in and say, what do you want to know? I mean, we got smoked. We didn't perform well enough. We're not hitting. We're not doing a good enough job at the plate. We didn't do a good enough job on the mound. It just wasn't good. It wasn't a good performance. We'll be better next time out. Mm-hmm. But when you to Jamie's point, people stop believing you, and once they stop believing you, they stop trusting you. So even when you're telling the truth, people are gonna question.
Yeah,
is he telling us the truth right now?
The players hear that crap.
I think he's telling the players the truth. Like I would assume, and again, I'm not in that clubhouse. I'm not there with them. I would assume that as a good manager, a good coach, there are times where you have been ripped to shreds by your coach. And then he goes and he's like, who the hell is that guy? Because that was not the guy that just was in this locker room talking to us or in this meeting room talking to us.
I understand that. I'm talking about the players have to leave that clubhouse later and deal with questions from everybody around town. Whoever they run into, does Ollie really think you guys played good, or did he really like?
Yeah.
And it's not that that's such a bothersome thing, but the players, you've been there when your head coach is on the podium and he says something, you're like, oh man, I don't want to have to talk about this. I don't want to hear about this for the next couple of days.
Yeah, no kidding.
It just becomes a bit of a pain.
Lars Nootbaar just doubled to make it 5-1. Cardinals now at Busch Stadium. So if they were to hold on, and their bullpen has been very good, but let's not jinx them here. If they were to hold on, they do win this series. Overall, the homestand wasn't good because you got swept by Milwaukee, but we talked about it at the start of the year. If you just win series, enough of those, you're going to be in a spot to win the division and go to the playoffs. But this is a weird team. I mean, 14-1 last night. You're down 1-0, you're getting blanked throughout, and now you're up 5-1.
But
Just
that's-
a goofy-ass team.
But that's baseball, though.
It is.
That's baseball right there, because you get one starter that's not on his game, and you end up with 14 runs against that. That was two guys, Thompson and Matz. Yes.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I found it very curious that the Diamondbacks crush left-handed pitching. So not only did you have a hang on, Anthony, let me finish. Not only did you have a bit of a disadvantage
With your starter.
with your starter, but no, you followed it up with another lefty who, by the way,
that's correct.
He got
his,
his down. too.
his velo is down.
Yeah.
So let's follow it up with a
I think his
lefty
spirits are down.
who's throwing batting practice.
That was bad.
Like what are we doing, Carey?
I don't manage the team, Jamie. I
It'd be
just
like
watch.
a team that's unbelievable at stopping the run to the right.
We're gonna run.
You're just gonna keep running it to the right.
I would tell you this: we played
Every freaking time.
My sophomore year, we played Northwestern, and our coach said we're going to run 14 power, or it's power play. Ran at the defensive end. Duane, Missouri was the defensive end for Northwestern. We're going to run it 85 times right at Duane, Missouri. Yeah, after the first quarter, coach, we should have stopped that. I don't know why we're still doing.
Duane's doing
we
pretty
lost
good,
63 to 21. We ran power O 15 times in the first two quarters. Yeah, we probably
Exactly,
Coach,
Carey.
I don't think we should keep running at this guy. He's upset that we're trying that. Yeah.
That kid was probably like, I can't believe they keep doing this.
They got to be some
These
idiots
guys are
over
great
there.
for my video.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
It's the last time I
anyways,
heard of him.
Again, an interesting move going from lefty to lefty.
Yeah.
At least they didn't.
Sometimes the
they
game
didn't give up
plan.
the same amount of
Oh
runs.
yeah, he did.
7 and
Less
7.
innings.
Needed one
Sometimes the
of those
game
after
plan
the
needs
game.
to be. Yeah.
Okay. Well said. We all did. What's trending is next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Are you currently out there looking for replacement windows? Maybe you're doing some remodeling. Maybe there's a storm that came by. Maybe they're just old windows that you've got. Well, head over to Window World. They are the best in the business. They're also the preferred window of your St. Louis Blues. I talk about this frequently, that Window World uses a double-strength glass that's not found in normal replacement windows. And the reason I know this is because John Gillette, one of the owners, had me go into the showroom, put a window on the ground, and made me stand on it. Couldn't believe what he was trying to get me to do, but the window didn't break, which was amazing. And all that means is you've got good durability from that window and good efficiency as well. You know, keep that hot air out, that cold air out, depending on the seasons, and keep that money in your wallet. Window World also offers a lifetime warranty that covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor. And they still offer 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. So if you want an unbelievable window and you want great customer service, call Window World at 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800. Or you can always visit them at windowworldstlouis.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. After losing 14-1 yesterday, the Cardinals currently lead the Diamondbacks 5-1 in the top of the ninth inning. 1 out, 1 runner on. We'll continue giving you updates on today's game. Kyle Gibson started today's game, went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 earned run, walked 2, and struck out 6. We have what's trending coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Carey Davis. Jamie Rivers is somewhere. We'll find him.
Got lost.
It's time for what's trending.
He'll be good.
He's all right.
Gentlemen, the Heisman Trophy has been returned to Reggie Bush after 14 years. Congratulations, Reggie Bush.
Good for him.
He has his Heisman back.
That's good.
It's awesome.
I mean, no, not to speak ill will of the dad, but OJ didn't get his taken away from him, right?
He got it taken away and he went to get it back. That's what sent him to prison.
But it wasn't stripped from him by the
It was
Heisman
a civil
committee.
case, yeah.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, he went
Reggie got his
back from the committee.
exactly.
Yeah, good for him. Shouldn't have gotten it taken away in the first place,
It was
especially
what was his uncle? Or something his uncle
house. I think it was a house, or they were given some, But
Right.
listen, man, I heard Lindell White say when he moved into an apartment there was a bag of like $20,000 laying on the floor.
That's
Like,
lucky, man.
Yeah,
That's just luck.
You just happen to be in a place where the money is there, and you could turn it in. But I mean, what are they gonna do, right? We had a joke in the league, and some of the players like USC or SEC players, it's like, oh, you guys taking a pay cut when you come to the NFL. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
But now, fortunately, there is they're able to get paid. I'm on a group thread with some of my friends from college, and they were saying that the lowest payout at the University of Illinois. Now I don't know if it's true, but this is what my guy is pretty connected with it. He said he's getting paid $21,000. Like the lowest scholarship player on Illinois is getting $21,000.
Wow, from NIL.
Yeah. Anthony. Buddy, baby, what you need? I got it. All right, it's on me. I would have been making a lot of money. So It's unfortunate that players in our era, prior to this NIL and all of the things that they had to miss out on or had to have taken away from them because of the things that they're doing now is legal, and it should have been legal then. Yep. You're making millions of dollars for universities. They're using your name, image, and likeness. They're selling Reggie Bush jerseys, I'm sure, on campus at SC when he was in school. He's winning the Heisman. They're winning national championship, playing in national championships. And, you're not rewarded from it, but, people are being rewarded for it. So I'm happy for him. It's a great day for him to get his Heisman back. And, it's something that it's part of making things right, doing things the right way.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Guys, the Lions agreed to massive extensions with two of their top offensive stars, Amon-Ra St. Brown, to a 4-year, $120 million extension. And offensive tackle Penei Sewell signing a 4-year, $112 million deal. What does this mean for the Lions?
This is what it should look like. You draft players that produce for you, and you reward them, and you keep them in tow. That's what it should look like. Free agency is nice, but free agency to some. By the way, the Cardinals just capped off a win today, 5-1 over the Diamondbacks. So they did win the series
and finally won the last game of a series.
And finally won the last game of a series.
Things are looking up.
Yeah, Ryan Helsley with the save. Carey, when you're a team that consistently spends your cap dollars in free agency, fans tend to think, "Oh, this is great. We're spending." You're spending on players you didn't draft. You didn't, they're hired mercenaries. You're not bringing them back to an organization, a system that that they know. You know them, they know you.
Right.
So Penei Sewell and Amon-Ra St. Brown getting those deals, this is how it, quote unquote, should look. You reward a player that you scouted, drafted, developed. They know the system, they're comfortable, and you can win with these guys.
And he's done a great job. I mean, last year, All-Pro, Pro Bowler, first team All-Pro, and so he the year before that also a Pro Bowler. He's done a fantastic job in his 3 years there. Going into a contract year, making sure the Lions are like, we're not going to let this guy get to free agency. He's going to be 25 this year?
Who are you talking about, Brown?
Ross St. Brown.
Yeah.
Yep. And just doing a great job, has done a great job. And well deserved for him. I mean, I think I agree with you. When you are able to draft, develop, and then sign your guys and keep them in tow and keep them in-house, that's the way you want to go. If you got to go outside to sign a free agent receiver, you probably missed on a few guys prior to that.
Absolutely.
So, this is kudos to the Lions for also drafting and keeping a guy in-house.
Yeah, that's kind of my point with free agency, right? Like you missed.
No question.
You missed
a couple of
somewhere
times
along the way.
Yeah, more than
in the
once.
draft, in free agency, you screwed up, so now you have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
This is different. This is rewarding a guy that has been highly successful. By the way, St. Brown's 225 receptions since the start of 2022 ranks third in the NFL, behind only CeeDee Lamb and Tyreek Hill. He's sixth in targets over the last 2 years, fifth in receiving yardage, according to Roto-World. Brown has been highly effective for them.
And again, I mean, both of those guys were in the same draft. So you hit Penei Sewell was a first-round draft pick, 7th overall, and Amon-Ra was a 4th-round pick. Mm-hmm. You hit on those two guys because those two guys both all-pro first team last year, Pro Bowlers the last 2 years. They've done a great job, and you want to keep them there.
Big time.
Yep.
Anthony, you mentioned the Cardinals won 5-1 today. The offense came alive when they needed them to. Now, I'm not sure how many fans or listeners care about pull percentage in Major League Baseball, but this is from Eno Saris of The Athletic on Twitter /X. He says, pulled balls in the air are the best batted ball type by outcome. Here's how St. Louis is ranked in pull percentage on fly balls by season with an annotation. In 2017, they were 17th. Then they hired Jeff Albert. In 2018, they were ranked 5th. 2019, ranked 9th. 2020, 19th. 2021, they were ranked 1st. Same as 2022. And then Jeff Albert left. 2023, they were ranked 8th. In 2024, they are ranked 30th. What do you take from that information?
So, Saris, small mistake here. He has Jeff Albert being hired before the 2018 season. He was hired after. So they were 9th in his first season, then 19th, then first. Albert left. Jeff Albert left. And then 8th and 30th. Jeff Albert also put in the system, the minor league system, his system in the minor leagues, and we're not seeing guys like Jordan Walker develop that way. Some of the other younger guys aren't coming up with that philosophy. So I don't know. It's interesting. I do think that Jeff Albert was unfairly criticized by the fan base. I think he was scapegoated. I'm not saying he was the answer and they got rid of him, just like Randy Arozarena has been a dynamic presence for the Rays. Like, oh, look at how they missed out on Jeff Albert. But I think the hitting coach a lot of the times gets unfairly criticized for the way that veterans underperform. And Goldie has had an excellent run in St. Louis.
Right.
Arenado's had a pretty good run, say for last year. If your top hitters aren't producing, I don't care who you have as your hitting coach.
Right.
And I understand this is one philosophy, but it's what we talk about a lot. What else do you do with your offense? Pull percentage. Okay. Are you thinking the game at all? Are we just looking at statistics to measure how an offense is working?
I hate this stuff. I know we talk about analytics, and yes, analytics are used. I hate hearing about it.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how to play baseball, or do you not know how to play baseball?
And to what you're saying, the hitting coach, I have yet to see a hitting coach take a bat up to the plate and take an at bat. Like, I can give you all of the answers. I can give you all the information, but at the end of the day, it's on you as a player. This is why I'm so adamant about players doing their job effectively. Bad players get good coaches fired all the time. Ask Craig Berube. You have bad players not doing their job, good coaches lose their job. So it's on the players to go up to bat, to do what they need to do, and perform all of the things you're being taught, being coached, taking it from the film room to the game field, whatever that looks like. So I don't put so much stock into coaches because I've been there. I've had a coach. I have watched a coach tell a player, do this, and the player does that, and it doesn't work. And people are like, what the hell are you coaching him? I ain't telling him to do that dumb stuff. I told him what to do. What do you mean?
Right.
He's the dummy that chose to do something different because he thought it would work better. Surprise, surprise. It doesn't. So for me, again, players have to perform when given the opportunity. And there are often times where coaches get fired when players stink. And it's the part of the business that we all understand.
Right. I think that, especially in baseball, there's so many statistics, there's so many metrics to evaluate what a hitter has just done. But we don't spend enough time on what actually helps you win ball games. Mm-hmm. What actually leads to runs? Are you thinking through a situation? I think if baseball became less about reviewing the analytics and more about situational understanding, perhaps we might see a better game, a more productive game, a funner game for that matter.
Yeah,
as opposed to constantly concentrating on, I got to pull, I got to do this, I got to do that.
And for me, I didn't mean to cut you off, Marsh, but for me, I think baseball is the sport where the manager / coach matters the least.
Somebody's been saying that.
Football, you probably need to know what coverage is and how you're going to attack a defense. Basketball, okay, they jumped in the zone. What are we going to do? They're pressing. Okay, what are our press beaters? How do we get past that? Hockey, there's some strategy there as well. But baseball, it is such an individual sport. I can sit in meetings and tell you, okay, when this batter, they look at the card. They have cards that they pull out. Where do I need to align versus this batter? Okay, he's a pull hitter. Let me go closer to the line. Whatever the case may be, that's coaches telling you. Now, if I pull out my card and it says I need to be here and I'm not here, whose fault is that? Right. Come game time, it is on the players to make plays. And I've said this time and time again. As a coach, I can call the best play in the world, and my guy does something completely wrong and it looks terrible. Mm-hmm. I can call the worst play in the world, and I got an individual. I got Lamar Jackson out there. It doesn't matter, baby. It's going to be a play because he's a guy. It's the players that make the things go, and so coaches have a role, but when you're on that field, your coach is not standing next to you telling you what to do.
Right.
And it doesn't help, especially with the fans, when those coaches are saying things, kind of like what we talked about with Ollie Marmol. Well, he looked good. I thought it was one of his better outings. I just watched the game. Maybe I missed something, but 7 earned runs is not good. I don't care how hard the guy hit the ball. Is he getting on base? Mm-hmm. I don't care. Fans don't care about that stuff.
Right.
They only care about winning and whether or not these players are playing well.
Well, the Cardinals did win today. So they won 5-1. We'll talk about it next on 101 ESPN.
Jamie Rivers here. I want to talk to you about the Bibb Agency and Tracy Bibb. We talk to Tracy all the time, and she always has great advice for everybody. And just yesterday, we were talking about, the dangers of being out there driving around in bad weather, and you think that you've got the right coverage, but you just don't know. I can tell you from personal experience, I thought I was covered properly too, till I met Tracy Bibb. And she dove into my policies and found out I had a great rate, but I was barely covered, leaving myself at risk for bigger, worse things to happen. And so Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency, they took care of all that for me. First, they called my old insurance agent and broke up with them for me, so that was nice. I enjoyed that. And then after that, I've got the Tracy Bibb treatment from everybody over there, where every time you call, anytime you text, you get a response, and you get it from someone who cares, who knows you, who knows your policies, and can help you and point you in the right direction, send you your insurance card, or provide a number for you to call for a tow truck or whatever it is. That's the kind of customer service I want you to have as you drive around in your vehicle or your home, trying to protect your home at the same time. So please call Tracy Bibb for a non-committal quote today. Free, by the way. That number is 314-328-4260. Again, that's 314-328-4260. You can visit her Facebook page as well, too. Reach out that way. She loves interacting with people on Facebook. It really is no fib. You're in great hands with Tracy Bibb.
Score Contreras. And Arenado into second. Line into left center field. That's down for a hit. Mason on his way to third. They're going to wave him. Here he comes. Here comes the relay throw. It won't be made. They put him in motion. Gorman puts it in play, and the Cardinals extend the lead. Lars 0 for 3 today, and there's some contact driven deep right. Richard plays it over his head. Hits off the base of the wall. 2 will score. There at second and third.
Chip Carey on the call earlier today. Last night he was not saying that. Last night he was not saying that. I was thinking.
Last night they were telling jokes, telling stories. Poor guys, I feel bad for them.
Well, they're used to it last year. Same deal.
They do an unbelievable job. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but I've been there. Not as much as they have, and that wasn't quite as bad as that.
Well, at least yours is timed.
Correct. But last year last season, prior to this past season, there were some difficult evenings.
Sure.
And this year too, there are a couple of games where things aren't. And you're looking for things to talk about, and whatever.
That gets bad. I did that too. I did Illinois radio, and you got
you got pauses.
but at least
in radio, you can say whatever, and nobody can tell if you're telling the truth.
Yeah, but if the score is, I don't know, 35-10.
This was
third quarter.
This was not the direction I was going to take.
Go ahead. Sorry, I did this, Anthony. My bad.
I'm going to throw out some would you rather death scenarios here. Okay.
Oh, I like these. I like these.
Cardinals baseball over the last year plus.
Oh, he's going to go to the Rams. Watch this.
Blues hockey in some down years. Okay.
The last year plus.
So last year plus. Illinois radio.
Ever.
Or St. Louis Rams post game.
Oh, Anthony.
Which were, 4 hours?
Yeah, we were there.
What?
Hey, West Coast
4-hour shows.
West Coast. And when they
4
played.
hours of what?
When they played in
Exactly.
Seattle, and I remember Anthony and I, they rushed for like 1.7 yards, I think, one game. It was bad. And you're trying to find anything positive. Well, the punter had a great
Johnny Ecker,
kicked them
Great
straight.
hang time.
Nice, Jay. Nice, Jay.
Not the punter. No.
Nothing.
So there's different, like baseball, obviously longer season, 9 innings.
I'm gonna
There's no
It's easy.
time limit.
80.
I would rather hockey any day, every day.
At least they're moving fast.
It happens, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That
moving
Blues
fast.
Canucks game earlier in the year.
yeah, even that one. But even that one, the Canucks were great. Jordan Binnington stood on his head.
For about a
Without
period.
Jordan Binnington, we wouldn't even
That's
be in
why
this
it's 14-1.
See how we do this?
Yeah.
Right? That's how we do this.
Yeah.
So hockey, because it's fast pace, yes. Baseball, after every pitch, now it's gotten better with the pitch clock, but
Still
still,
slow.
and football too, same thing. There's a down, tackle, whistle,
There's
everybody lines
nothing
up.
to talk about when
and
they're
then
getting beat.
post game, when they stink, like that's the hard one too. And last year, that was the hard part at times for the Blues. 2 years ago, I'll say at this point, was doing some of the post game shows, and some of the post game shows when they're in LA or San Jose.
Yeah.
Like I'm not
There
getting
you
on
go.
the air till like 12:30 in the morning, and now I got to break down.
Crap.
Not
Yeah.
so great stuff.
Effort, good. Just the
Everything
result.
else.
The result wasn't what we were looking for.
I'm not looking.
So that, again, this all started because I think that Chip and Brad do a hell of a job.
They do.
Keep you entertained when there's nothing.
Massaging everything the right way.
Yeah.
So that when they have a game like last night, that's what I
You've
said.
been in there in the booth with him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Brad's got cold hands, but strong grip. He's got, still got that. He's still got that pitcher's grip on him. Yeah.
Anyways, when we were coming back, we were listening to the Chip Carey calls, and then you had Ollie up on the screen there. He's doing the post game there on Valley Sports Midwest.
Ollie probably said, "Oh, we didn't have our stuff today."
That's exactly what I was thinking. Did you hear me laughing coming in?
No.
I was thinking
there's a
that. I'm like,
couple
how great would it have been if Ollie, so last night we were talking about how he said, well, it was one of Steven Matz's better outings. He comes today and goes, not what we're looking for. Not one bit. Like, he just completely reverses.
I would actually
course.
like that. I would appreciate that.
No, we'd still be like, is he insane?
It might be, maybe.
I don't know. I'd give him a hat tip, though. If he was effing
Well
with
played.
us. Well played.
Well played.
Do you think if Ollie didn't say the things that he says, people would have a different opinion on him?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
same with Mo.
Mo
Or do you
does
think it
say
would-
what he says.
No,
Yeah.
if he said something completely different.
Yeah. Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. So, like, if he was like unconventional and joking.
They're trying to polish a turd
Yeah.
instead of just being like straight
know.
up.
Marshy, first of all, have you ever tried to do that, by the way?
I haven't. No.
It's
No.
messy.
Have you?
It's messy.
I don't think you should do that. I think
You got to
should
find the
leave.
right shade, first of all, and then it gets messy.
Yeah, you're on your own there, buddy.
Yeah. I don't do it anymore.
Well, good.
It's not worth the money.
All right, we accomplished nothing in this segment. The Cardinals, though, they did win 5-1. They win the series. Let's go over some highs, and there's not a lot of lows today. But let me ask you guys this: they lose 14-1 last night, but they win the series. All forgiven?
Yes.
We'll talk about.
No.
Sorry.
What's
They're
wrong
perfect.
with you?
Good. Talk about it next on 101 ESPN. Well, maybe if I didn't have to work today with Jamie and Carey, although I do like that, guys. Don't get me wrong. I would have went to the Cardinals game, would have parked there at the Missouri Athletic Club downtown. I would have taken their shuttle over to Busch Stadium, watch the Cardinals win, head on back, and maybe get something to eat and a drink or two over at the Jack Buck Grill. It's kind of a nice summer thing to do when it comes to the Missouri Athletic Club, but they've got something every month. Whether it's the West Clubhouse or the downtown spot, which is beautiful, man. It is a historic building. They host events there all the time that are fantastic, but there's always something going on with the Missouri Athletic Club. I like to say it's kind of a club
within the club or several clubs within the club. I enjoy going down there and working out and doing all that stuff, but then taking the family down, and whether you're doing a holiday brunch or something to do with Easter or Christmas, it's fantastic. That's Miami C. It's Missouri Athletic Club. .301 Time Check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. By the way, Jamie, you had left a little earlier last night. So, at the end of the show, there's always a lot of stuff going on. We got to get some mentions in there. We've got, Bet the Board, and we've got 3 stars of the day.
A lot
and all
of traffic at the end.
Yeah. So I looked up at one point, and we've got kind of the running comments on the Snake Pit. And Hey Steve, who's in the Snake Pit, one of his comments popped up just as we were talking about Major League. Carey had mentioned that Major League was actually filmed in Milwaukee, and obviously Bob Uecker was their longtime play-by-play man.
Yeah,
and obviously he's in that movie. I called him Steve Uecker.
Oh God!
Went right over Carey and Marsh's head.
Bob's cousin.
Except for Carey and Marsh were still logged into the text line. The text line, rightfully so, roasted me. So yeah, I did say I called him Steve Uecker because I looked up. Hey Steve, added Steve Uecker. It's Bob Uecker.
It happens.
It's Bob Uecker.
It happens.
Idiot.
Paul Gorman too.
Paul Gorman.
I called him that.
My teachers used to say, Anthony, you're not bright.
Really?
You would be less not.
They're honest.
You'd be less not bright if you just slowed down from time to time.
I don't think your teacher should have said that.
They didn't.
Yeah, they should uplift.
But they thought it.
They might have.
So
I understand that part.
There was a game this year where the Blues were playing the Coyotes, and they have a player named Lawson Krause. I grew up with a kid named Logan Krause.
Yeah.
I called him Logan for 2.5 periods. Nobody corrected me.
Yeah.
And I got a text from like some random friend of mine. He's like, dude, I think it's Lawson. I'm like, and what have I been saying? Like Logan. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh boy. Yep.
I did that too. I had a teammate named Josh McCutcheon in high school, and I would always call Andrew McCutcheon Josh, like every time. I'm like, yeah, Josh McCutcheon. Wait, hold on.
Who the hell is Josh McCutcheon?
And then at that point, 2.5 periods in, I don't even know how to go back and correct myself.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just going to start saying Lawson, just act like it never happened.
Yep. Droid just timed it. Paul Gorman heating up. All right, it's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Cardinals 5-1 winners over the Diamondbacks. Things got off to a rocky start again. Following that 14-1 loss last night, Christian Walker hit a sacrifice fly to center, scoring Pavin Smith. And all of a sudden, the Cardinals were down 1-0, and that is what the score would stay until the bottom of the sixth. Cardinals bats came alive. Arenado with a huge RBI single to left, followed by Contreras scoring on a wild pitch off of Jordan Montgomery to make it 2-1. Paul Gorman, with a single, which scored Mason Wynn to make it 3-1 in the bottom of the seventh. And then kind of the nail in the coffin for the Diamondbacks was Nootbaar doubling to right to score Arenado and Goldschmidt to make it 5-1, and that's how it stood. Kyle Gibson pitched very well today. He got in and out of trouble, no problem, whatever. Goes 6 innings, scattered 5 hits, only allowed the 1 earned run, walked 2, struck out 6, and the bullpen lights out. JoJo Romero, Andrew Kittredge, and then Ryan Helsley shut down Arizona. Jordan Montgomery pitched well too, but the Cardinals manufactured some runs and did get the one key hit with the double from Nootbaar, 5-1. So I asked you guys. They lose 14-1 last night, but they won the series. Is all forgiven. Carey, you said yes.
Yeah. Then you
Do explain.
Because
Carey Davis. Hang on, the Carey Davis that I know.
You should please explain.
I did. Then I cut him off. I jumped him. I want to make sure I set the table.
Explain. No, the Carey. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I just want to make sure we set the stage properly. Okay, my friend.
Yes, sir.
The Carey Davis that I know and love. Well, he's okay with losing, right?
Oh wow.
Okay, Carey, as you were.
I'm not okay with losing, ever. I hate losing.
Well, apparently you are.
It's one of the worst things in the world.
2 out of 3, I guess. Huh?
But you win 2 out of 3. Again, there is nothing to be learned from losing 14-1 last night. Again, we've had that conversation. There are times, I don't know if your coaches said that, but our coaches would say, yeah, we're going to burn the tape. We're not going to even watch this.
They tell us, go out and get really drunk and forget about what just happened.
Don't worry about it. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
You delete that from your memory because it was that bad. So if you look at the other 2 games, the first and the last, you'll say, it wasn't a bad series. You just delete that middle one. Pretend like it didn't happen. Zack Thompson is down in the minors. Jordan Walker is down in the minors. You got guys. It wasn't a great appearance by Steven Matz, but we believe that. Everyone doesn't. But you just delete it. You pretend like it didn't happen, and you think about the first and the last game, and you won the series. That's what matters, right? You win series. Doesn't matter if you lose 25-1 in the middle of it or the last one. You won the series.
Well, Carey, you might be okay with winning.
I'm okay with winning.
2 out of 3.
Yes.
You might be okay that the Cardinals are still 11-14 in the bottom of their division.
I didn't say that.
But I'm not, Carey. I'm not okay.
You twisted that.
With what's going on.
See how you twisted that. Yeah.
You got to win series.
They did.
No, sweep them.
You can't when you
Get
give
the damn
up 14
ball out.
runs.
I know, but that's my problem. You gave up friggin' 14
That's not really your
runs.
problem. That's their problem.
No, it's my problem, Carey. You know why? Because I love the Cardinals.
I do too. That's why
I'm starting to question all that here recently.
That's why winning 2 out of 3
Starting
is
to look
great.
over the fence at some of the other.
Don't you dare.
Don't you dare.
Starting to answer other text messages from other teams. It's all about, sometimes it's how they treat you too, And when your team isn't giving you the attention that you need or what you, sometimes you start answering other text messages. I don't want to get into it, okay?
From a Atlanta area code or
Listen,
LA?
I don't know, okay? Because it's usually blocked. But anyways, my point is that all jokes aside, the Cardinals have to start sweeping series. Like, they have a lot of ground to make up in their division. Like, the Brewers are 14-8. The Cubs are 14-9. The Cardinals are 11-14.
They're not
Winning 2 out of 3 is not going to cut
2-1 over their last 3, though.
Yeah. See what you did there,
You don't
Anthony?
even believe what you just said.
Nah. They got a minus 26 run differential. Now, a 14-1 loss, that'll factor in, but minus 26 run differential. I mean, nobody else is close within your division. The Pirates are even. By the way, the Pirates have sunk. Remember when they were off to yet another hot start?
Are they still ahead of the Cardinals?
Yes.
That's how bad it is. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't know for long, but yeah.
Well, you lose 14-1. You don't get the luxury of being like, oh, yeah, we won today, which is great. Like, I'm glad the team won. However, this is their inconsistent ways that they've had the past 2 seasons. Like, this doesn't change anything for me because the next time they go out, they could get smoked or lose on some stupid base running mistake or a bullpen mistake or the starter gives up who knows how many runs again. Like, I just have no idea what this team is.
Preach.
I've about had it with you all. Because when I said the other day.
What do you mean, you all?
You all. Not you, Marshy. I like you.
I can't wait to hear this.
You're cool.
Yes, you're cool. Yes. When I said it the other day, you all told me I was gloom and doom, and I said, well, they scored runs, but they had 3 walks in an inning and Font allowed.
You're pretty negative.
In defense of Jamie and I, you were in a foul mood yesterday.
No, I wasn't.
Well,
You got a star for
I
it.
was honest about what I saw, and they won that game. And here I am saying, the 14-1 loss. I'm being positive, and you two are negative Nancy's
I don't
today.
appreciate you flip-flopping like that on us, too.
You two.
He's all negative, then he tries to be positive.
Yeah.
I am a Cardinal
Things
fan.
changed, Mox. You lost 14-1 last night.
Did I?
Yeah.
I don't recall.
Well, you just said you're a Cardinal fan.
I don't recall.
Oh, you
Didn't happen.
Trying that one? Hang
You
on.
also got swept by
Let me
the
pull up the
Brewers.
Didn't
standings
happen.
for you here. I
Yeah,
can
let's
show
not
you.
forget
Didn't
about
happen.
that.
Didn't happen.
Very fit.
Huh? Yeah. Cardinal lifer here.
Carey, I'm
How about you?
disappointed.
How about you? Huh? Huh? Hell, you
I don't
doing?
know where I'm from.
I don't know. I don't either.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
Cardinal lifer.
Parts unknown.
I don't know where the heck he's from. The
you can't with the
win
glasses
2
when
out of
you're
3.
okay with
The
losing.
Cardinals win 2 out of 3, and you two are complaining? Huh? Because they lost 14. After you give up 7 runs, what difference does it make?
What did they lose by again?
14-1.
Good
So
Lord.
someone told me. I don't recall. I didn't see it. Didn't matter. What happened last night? What happened today? What have you done for me lately? 5-1 is what they've done for me lately. How about you? You?
They lost a game they shouldn't have.
Did they win today?
Are they in last place?
Did they win the series?
Are they in last place?
You gotta start somewhere, Jamie.
I'm
We
trying.
are digging our way out.
You know
Just
what,
you
Carey?
watch.
They did try and start something the other night, and then they followed it up with a 14-1 loss.
Well,
How cool is he now?
how cool are we? 2 out of 3. He's not that cool anymore.
He's out.
He's out. You guys, damn it.
You were right when you first said.
I was.
I'm tired of you people. All right. No, in all seriousness, I mean, you win the division. Or you win the division. That'd be nice. If you won the series, you also got swept by the Brewers. So, to Marsh's point, you've started out of the gates
Damn it, man.
inconsistently. You have. You're inconsistent. We just did this all with the Blues.
You can't just pick on my Blues.
Right.
Is this next
Back to
series the
subject.
most important series of the year?
Yeah, exactly.
Every series.
Are we about to find out about the Blues? Like how many
Literally.
times? Every week we
did that
that.
every 10 games.
It
This
was.
stretch
As
here.
soon as they
is
got a
gotta
5,
be, this stretch here.
they
is-
lined up against like Colorado,
Most important.
Edmonton, Vegas. Are we about to find out about the Blues? And then they'd go 2-3, and we didn't really
No,
learn
they beat
anything.
those teams.
Yeah, they beat those teams, and then you're like,
That's true. Yeah.
Columbus Blue Jackets.
and they take care of business.
We're back. All right.
San
Now we
Jose,
got
by
the
the way, fired
Sharks.
their head coach today.
Yeah. I wonder
Why?
why.
Should've just played
He
against
should have
the
said,
Blues.
"Did you not see us play against the Blues?"
Honestly, Army needs to hire him as a consultant.
Yeah.
What did you guys do? How did you know?
I don't know if I would do that. I got a lot of reasons as to not.
All right. We've got Prove Me Wrong next. So the
should be a fun one.
the law firm of Davis, Rivers, and Stalter will step into the Honorable Andrew Marsh's courtroom, and we'll do Prove Me Wrong. If you have a Prove Me Wrong statement, 314-339-9646. This is where you make a statement, and then one of us has to argue against it. That's next on 101 ESPN. One of the best investments that you can make in your home is to get yourself new windows. Why not get yourself new windows with a reliable company that will also save you up front? Because Mosby Building Arts, right now, they're offering 10% off windows or 12 months no payments with their spring refresh sale. When you get new windows, you're talking about keeping that warm air in during the winter months and, of course, that cool air throughout the summer months. You upgrade the look and feel of your home as well with new windows. You can, save on energy costs throughout the year. So now is the time to give Mosby Building Arts a call because, again, their spring refresh sale, 10% off windows or 12 months, no payments. That's going on for only another 6 days to the end of April. So give Mosby Building Arts a call. Take advantage of that sale. If you're not in the market for new windows, maybe you just redid your windows not too long ago. How's your bathroom looking? If you want to do a bathroom upgrade, $1,000 off bathrooms plus low monthly payments with Mosby Building Arts. And they are the right remodeling company because they do it right the first time. They've got everybody in-house. And when I say everybody, I mean plumbers, electricians, everybody's in-house, and they only work on your project. So when you call Mosby and they come out and they design your bathroom for you, or they design your kitchen, whatever you're remodeling. They sit down, they work with you to make sure that you're going to absolutely love whatever project you're working on. And then when the material's in, they get you started and they keep you updated each and every week when it comes to your projects, so you know how everything's looking, how everything's working, and when you expect to get your kitchen or your bathroom back. They're the best. Mosby Building Arts. Give them a visit at mosbybuildingarts.com. Take advantage of that spring refresh sale, and when you call, tell them Stalter sent you. Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company.
Prove me wrong, kids. Prove me wrong.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers and Anthony Stalter. This is the segment where you send in your statement, and one of us, Carey, Jamie, me, will have to prove you wrong.
I just want to say something before we start. Judge Marshall is looking outstanding today. Oh, great hat.
Wow.
Man, what was that? The Olympics? I love it. That's
Carey.
wonderful. That's a great
I've
hack.
seen a lot of stuff in my
Olympics
day.
coming up this summer, 2024. Wow.
Nice job, Carey. Nice
Archie's
job.
prepared. He's doing great.
I like the effort. A little transparent.
Okay.
Judge looking good as always. Let's begin.
All right, Anthony.
Full head of hair over there.
Oh, man, outstanding.
Yeah.
You guys are good. We'll see if you'll be good at Prove Me Wrong. From the 618, Prove Me Wrong. With Dave Matthews Band being the most recent Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees, they don't deserve to be inducted.
Oh.
Oh, they don't deserve. Yeah, you're talking about one of the worst bands ever. You ever listen to Dave Matthews Band? Wait, no, they're saying They don't. I have to. That's why I looked at you.
I always screw this up. It takes me a second to figure out what I'm actually doing.
I'm like, there's no way I could do this.
I thought it was the other way. Where
They do. You got to tell why they do.
Yeah, I can't.
Carey, that's
I
your
don't
fault.
even know a song. So don't ask the black guy.
All right, guys. Hey, listen. Carey said it's okay to have a really bad game, so that was our bad.
Delete it and move on.
We just sent.
Burn the tape, please.
I stood up and basically looked at the judge and said, "Yeah, this guy's guilty as hell. Send him away."
Yeah, that's my bad there, Anthony.
okay. You're
Although
good.
it is your bad too,
Yeah, 'cause
because
I
you didn't
started.
recognize it either.
Yeah. Well, I did initially, and then I'm like, "Oh, maybe I've got it wrong."
Yeah.
No. I don't think anybody was going to be able to defend it though. So
No, I don't even like the Dave Matthews Band like
No.
that much. Like
Right.
they're fine. They're fine.
Fascinating fine.
Like it brings back a period of
Fascinating
time
fine
for
is
me
right.
in my life. Like my first year in the minors, like there's a lot of Dave Matthews Bands, so it's kind of
Yeah.
like funny to listen. Oh yeah, I remember like some of the fun stuff. But then it's like, yeah,
no.
I don't have anything on. I don't have any of it in my phone.
He got it in his iPod Shuffle, though.
They are.
It came with it.
Hey, you know what? I lost that. I have no idea where it is.
What? The shuffle?
Yes. I have no idea where it is now.
Unbelievable.
Hang on. We'll get on eBay.
Oh, man.
$12. I just bought you a new one.
Oh, my
You said you were
goodness.
going to give me the headphones. I still haven't got the headphones.
They don't pair with no Bluetooth.
Oh, man.
You said you're going to give me the headphones
The
for the phone.
headphones for the jack, yeah.
I'll get you some headphones, Anthony. I feel bad.
I'm going to
for you.
need those now.
Then you'll lose your phone. God knows with you.
That's true.
So you guys don't like Crash Into Me?
No.
Don't know
It's
it.
depressing.
No.
Never heard it.
Not even the
makes dogs
space
cry.
between.
No.
No.
All right.
You ever listen to that band? That band.
I
Every
have
song
listened to
sounds
it.
the same.
Yeah, well, they've got.
There's another artist that Anthony thinks all of her songs sound the same.
Well,
too.
that's because she repeats
How
herself
dare you.
over and over
How
and
dare
over
you.
again. Dave Matthews takes
you stop
600
that.
musical instruments all at the same time and tries to make it work.
You know what-
With all
who
the
we talking
hee-haw
about?
out there.
Beyonce? Yeah.
She repeats the same lyrics
Shame.
over
They got
and
some stuff
over
going
and
on
over
right
again.
now. She probably just. I don't know if we're allowed to even talk.
I don't know what's going on.
We'll move on.
Delete. Move on.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do.
From the 573, Prove Me Wrong. Paul Goldschmidt and no, will combine for less than 50 home runs together this season.
Get him, Carey.
I mean, have you seen these guys' track record? Clearly, we talked about Paulie starting slow. And I talked about it a couple of days ago. He was batting less than what he's batting right now on the same date 2 days ago. So clearly, and he won the MVP that year, Jamie. I want to remind you all of that. He's clearly going to be on the rise. You saw the shot that he hit to right center when I picked him. It was amazing. Nolan Arenado is going to pick up his pace as well. They're both going to end up with about 52 combined between the two of them. Easily.
Excited.
Yeah, it's no problem. 25, 27, yeah, pick and choose. They'll be fine. These guys are pros. They've been doing it such a long time. You know, I have no cause of concern for those guys.
On the back of their baseball card tells me they're going to do
It
that.
lets me know.
I mean, enough's enough here.
Yep.
Am I cool?
You are amazing, man.
Just making sure. From the 636, Prove Me Wrong. No Cardinals free agent signing was worse than when the Rams signed Drew Bennett.
Oh, Anthony.
Oh, are you serious right now? You serious right now? Because I remember the Cardinals looking at Dexter Fowler and saying, let's give you a truckload of money. And not only that, no team in baseball, including the one you just won a World Series with, is going to give you an extra year. But your Cardinals did.
Yeah.
They said, we need you. You can't play center field. That's why the Cubs had you backed up all the way to the warning track at Wrigley Field, so all you had to do was come in. You can't play center field, but we're going to make sure that you play center field. You're not a great leadoff hitter. You're going to be our leadoff hitter. In the process, we're going to move Matt Carpenter out of the leadoff spot where he was highly productive because we want to get more production with him dropping to the third. You know what happened? Dexter Fowler couldn't play center field. He wasn't a good leadoff hitter. Matt Carpenter's numbers weren't as good when they moved him down, say, to move him back up. And they spent a truckload of money to do so. So, no, the Drew Bennett deal was not worse than the Dexter Fowler deal.
What he said.
Preach.
Anthony, I know how passionate you are about this topic.
Thank you.
And Drew Bennett, man, he had 3 touchdowns in 2007 with the Rams.
Right, 3 tutties.
375 yards, played 14 games. Then he
It's
played,
almost a full season.
Yeah.
Almost.
Then he played 1 the following year. But we'll give it to you, though.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
That wasn't great.
From the
No, that wasn't.
Good God.
And let's be honest, they were both bad. But, yeah.
From the 636, prove me wrong, eating breakfast food at dinner is better than eating it at breakfast.
Okay, so
So, like, waffles are better at night than they are in the morning.
Prove 'em wrong.
Waffles are better.
oh yeah, no, that's definitely not the case. What you want to do, see, breakfast when you wake up right away, and this is a fact for most Americans and Canadians for that matter, because we got at least one viewer up in Canada.
Yes.
Is
Rivers.
that when you wake up right away, who wants like that big breakfast just stuffed into your face on the tape? No, you don't. You need a little bit of warm up time.
You do want that. You want that. You want that breakfast.
Anthony, you told me the wrong thing.
No, I was trying to
trying to
explain.
guide you.
Yeah, I was trying to guide you to
You
the.
do want.
Yeah.
But hang on. Stop, everybody. The question doesn't say it's better at breakfast. It says it's not good at dinner time.
No, it's better
it's
at
better
dinner.
at dinner.
Yeah, and I'm going to prove that it's not better at dinner time. Doesn't mean it has to be breakfast. I was talking about late morning, like brunch time.
we just didn't let you finish.
You didn't give him a chance,
Yeah, you got me going hard, and then you didn't let me finish.
Wow.
It's typical Anthony stuff.
Look at that guy's pivot.
That was a hell of
He
a spin
stopped
rate.
on a dime.
You
Yeah,
know
he did.
better, Judge. You hammered the X, and you didn't even know. I wasn't even
I
doing
didn't
my
know you were going to
argument.
pull Devin Hester and
Hang
go
on.
the other way.
Are these guys the judges?
No.
Then why did you listen to them?
Well, you talk about track record earlier. I was just going off the back of your baseball card.
You know what, Marcia? I always find my way, okay?
I know you do.
Screw you guys.
Oh, man.
Breakfast is way better around 11 o'clock,
Yes,
11:30 in the
that's
morning.
what he was going for.
That's what I was going for. I mean,
It's
when
brunch.
I sit down for breakfast, like at 8 a.m., I'm just not, my body's not ready. I haven't done it. I'm not there. So I go to the gym, do that, and you come back and you sit there afterwards. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Now I like eggs, bacon, waffles on the side. Not for dinner. Dinner, I feel like I'm eating like a bird if it's breakfast at dinner time. I mean, I'm a man. I get to be rewarded at dinner time.
Yeah.
Get there. I'm going to eat that right there at the dinner table.
Yeah.
No doubt, man.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. It just so happens that you picked the wrong day because I, tonight, am eating breakfast for dinner.
And you won't like it, Marcia.
Oh, I'm going to love it.
It won't
I'm gonna
fulfill
love it.
you.
I do like breakfast for dinner.
It's pretty damn good.
Every
My
now and
daughter-
then it's okay, Anthony. Not on a regular basis. What else
That's
wrong with
true.
you?
No,
you
you're that's
psychopath?
right.
You might be. You might be on
My daughter
something.
Madeline loves breakfast for dinner.
Well, she's a
Amazing.
genius, though.
All right.
She is.
She's okay.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong from the 980. You guys seem to crap on Marcelo Zuna and bring up his climbing the wall theatrics, but you haven't had an outfielder better than him since he's left and became an MVP in Atlanta.
Tyler O'Neill's one season was way better than Ozuna. And he was better defensively, too. Gold Glover. That's the one season. I'm just saying it. But now Ozuna doesn't play in the outfield anymore. It's a DH.
That's correct.
All that guy does is hit. Trust me.
Yep. Oh.
What?
Wow.
What?
Wow.
He does. Doesn't play defense anymore.
You know what, Jamie?
Oh, not cool.
What exactly? It's not cool, Anthony. Correct.
You know what, Jamie, make a great point. You may have just lost 14-1, but you bounced back with a 5-1 victory.
Thank you.
And what do we remember, huh?
That's
the last
right.
one.
The win.
All right, let's go to
Yeah.
break here.
And then a high note. Our guy Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues Insider with The Athletic, will join us next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Gentlemen, FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, they've always got great promotions going on, and nothing is better than playoff time with FanDuel, especially with the NBA. So much going on here. There's a lot of drama every night. Put some money on it. Have some fun with it. And if you're a new customer to FanDuel, right now is an awesome time for you. All you have to do as a new customer is place a $5 bet, and then you get $150 in bonus bets. Carey, that's win or lose to use during the playoffs.
Yeah, Jamie, the NBA Finals are on their way, and the playoffs are great. You can bet on three-pointers made in the game, the over, under, and point totals for a game, first basket scores, so much more, so many options. The Heat taking on the Celtics. St. Louis's own Jason Tatum, maybe you want to go over in points in that matchup because he's going to score. That's what he does. All you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/fast to get started.
That's right, FanDuel.com/fast, and then that $150 in bonus bets, win or lose, could be all yours to play the rest of the NBA playoffs at FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
.101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals bounced back after losing 14-1 yesterday They followed up with a 5-1 victory today and take the series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Kyle Gibson was on the mound earlier today, went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 earned run, walked 2, and struck out 6. We'll continue talking about the Cardinals throughout the remainder of the show, but we're going to catch up with our Blues insider from The Athletic, Jeremy Rutherford. We'll talk with him next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center Update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Let's head to our 101 ESPN Celebrity Line. We have our Blues insider, Jeremy Rutherford from The Athletic, on the line right now. What's up, JR?
Not too much, boys. You're talking about breakfast. It reminded me. Hey, Riv, you know that Westin right there on the water in Vancouver?
Oh, do I ever?
Yeah, I bet.
I barely remember it for most nights, though, JR.
Yeah, some hangovers from the Roxy the night before, I guess. But
oh, yeah.
To the Roxy?
So,
trust me.
You're talking about breakfast. Talking about that breakfast, and I remember late night at the Roxy, I go to the Westin breakfast buffet the next morning, and this thing is $37 for the breakfast buffet. And I sit down, I say, wow, Post-Dispatch is not going to be happy with me on this one, $37 on breakfast. Here comes Kelly Chase. He sits down next to me. I think he bought a protein bar, so he's in for about $3. And then all of a sudden he says to the waitress, I'll take his bill. So he gets the bill. He goes, $37. What do you mean? So he was in for 40. And all he did was happen to sit next to me.
Little did they know, though, that buffet was losing money that morning.
I was wondering why the next time I went, it was $56.
We're like, oh, you're that Rutherford guy, huh?
We've had to change our whole profit and loss structure here. So, JR, you released your final grades for the defensemen, the goalies, the coaches, the GM. I heard you the other day talking to, I think it was BK Ferrario about it all. Which player or coach or GM did you struggle with the most in terms of giving a grade, and why?
Well, yeah, it is a struggle. I'll tell you. You put a lot of time into it, a lot of thought into it, and it's not necessarily apples to apples with everybody. Like, you might look at a plus-minus, and a lot of people don't want to give credence to that stat. Neither do I. I totally get it. But you look at a Torrey Krug, he's a minus 31. It's by far the next closest defenseman to him is Justin Falk at a minus 2. And yet a lot of people will tell you Krug was probably better than Falk. So how do you grade those two guys? And I came out in the wash with those two, giving them both a D minus. So, who did I struggle with? I think those are two guys right there, even though you might sit there and say, well, it's pretty easy to give a guy or a D and F. It's not that easy. It's really not. So I think the main one that I struggled with was Doug Armstrong, and I might have a lot of people out there who disagree with a C minus for Doug. My rationale is this. I gave him an F last year, and you had a lot of things go wrong last year, obviously. But you get to a point where I get people are disappointed with what's gone on from his role. But, how many years can you say the bad contracts, the long-term contracts, is still give you input into the grade each year moving forward? And so I felt like what he did, kind of reloading the prospect pool and kind of getting this thing turned around, it wasn't great, but I don't think it's worthy of a D or an F. I think the C minus is where I landed with him.
Well, I agree with you, JR. And look, you're grading this per season. It's not the bulk of 5 years, the window of 5 years that you're grading it upon. And if you look at this year, yeah, there were some things that missed as far as maybe the Kevin Hayes signing and things like that. But you also had the emergence of Matthew Kessel, the Bolduc, the Zack Dean, Joel Hofer on the scene full time. So you're seeing some of the really good young players that Army and his staff have added to this group as well. So that definitely changes the grade, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so, and that's what I was ready to do with his grade. Is just kind of, okay, let's move forward. Let's understand we're all on the same page, that some of these contracts didn't work out, but you can start to see the benefit of some of those trades that they made at the deadline last year with O'Reilly and Tarasenko and, some of these guys that are on the horizon. So you may disagree, C minus. I just felt it was time to move on and kind of put those long-term contracts in the past a little bit.
Gerald, there's been a lot of talk about the transition that will be taking place for the roster, but what about for the head coach? We've heard about Rod Brennamore, we heard about Jim Montgomery, Drew Bannister. What is the best fit for this team for 24-25?
Well, I think it's exactly what Doug Armstrong said the other day at the press conference. I think that, are they ready to win a Stanley Cup? No. He said, are they looking for that type of coach who's going to come in and give them the extra 3 or 4% to get them over the hump, help them win a cup? No, that's not the guy. They need a guy who understands the fans' expectations, but also is willing to kind of grow with the young players and understand that they're going to make some mistakes and teach them along the way. And so, as a David Carl at the University of Denver, that type of guy, we saw some news with him yesterday. He's going to coach the World Junior Championship team in 2025. That would seemingly take him out of the running because he would be coaching an NHL team. How can he coach the World Junior team at the same time? There is precedent. You go back to the early 2000s. There was a coach who took that World Junior job. It was the North Dakota coach. And then once he got an NHL job, he did back out of the World Junior commitment. So it has happened, but it doesn't seem like the Blues are going that direction. I'll tell you what, the guy that fits the mold of what Doug Armstrong was saying is Jim Montgomery, and he does have 1 year left on his contract. I double-checked that. It does not expire this year. It does go into next year, and let's see what happens with this series between the Bruins and Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't see a scenario in which Boston would let him out of the contract, or maybe he'd want to be leaving Boston this offseason, but you never know. Things can change, and we'll see what happens after this postseason series he's in.
JR, an interesting piece for the Blues moving forward if we start to dive into the players is Pavel Buchnevich. Pavel Buchnevich has a year left on his deal. He's making pretty good money right now. I know Army has said publicly that he'd like to keep this relationship going with Pavel Buchnevich, likes him a lot as a player. But when you look at the money that he's currently making and you kind of bop around the league and look for guys that are comparables, I mean, it would be hard to imagine a world where Pavel Buchnevich gets a substantial raise and term. And if he does get those things, do you think it's going to be in St. Louis?
Yeah, Riv, it's kind of, funny behind the scenes here for a second. I was in the Blues locker room a few weeks ago and approached Pavel about, does he want to re-sign, what would it look like? And you know what his response was? I get a bad Russian accent here, imitation. But he goes, wait a minute. I hear on podcasts you say a week ago I be traded, and I no longer traded. Now you want to talk to me about re-signing here. I said, Pav, I'm not trying to trade you. I'm just trying to say, it could have went that direction before the trade deadline. But it did not. Doug Armstrong wanted to, after the trade deadline, he talked about wanting to re-sign Pavel Buchnevich, and he said he's going to talk to his representative. Just for context here, he'll be in the final year of his deal coming up next season, so they'll be able to officially talk on July 1st, and then, something could develop after that. But, Riv, you talk about a guy who just turned 29 the other day. He's going to be 30 years old when that new contract kicks in. He's going to want 5+ years. I could see a guy like him, wanting to take it late in his career to 8 years. And you look at a guy like Pierre-Luc Dubois. I know that he hasn't produced here lately, but his numbers for his career are pretty similar to Buchnevich, and he recently signed that 8x8 in LA. I'm not saying that's the only comp, but you want to start looking at comps out there. There are going to be some contracts that put him in the $7-8 million range. And is that something the Blues want to get into? Doug Armstrong hasn't done that in the past. We all know he let David Backes walk. He did give that type of deal to Braden Shen. He said he's a big Pavel Buchnevich fan. And so where are the Blues in the retool? Do they think that Pavel Buchnevich is worth that long-term contract to keep him in the fold? We'll find out. And finally, after a year or so of talking about it, they'll be able to discuss that coming up in July.
I just have a hard time with it, JR, because you look at his numbers and they're fine. They're fine, but you're also looking at a guy, like you say, he's going to be 30 years old, and Army is he's really not known for rewarding aging players with extremely long-term deals. Could I see a 4-year deal? Maybe 5 stretch to get the AAV down a little bit? I could, but I just don't know if Pavel Buchnevich, the extension in the term, would fit into where the Blues are going here in the next 2-3 years.
Right, and that happens with a lot of players. And so if you're the Blues, ideally, you want the 4 or 5 years, like you said. And even if the term's a little bit higher than you want to, you're willing to go to that 34, 35 age range. But if you're Pavel Buchnevich, you're 29, the deal's going to start when you're 30. You don't want a deal expiring when you're 34, 35, and then you got to look for another one when it looks like you're on, probably the 13th hole of your career. So I think it's a situation where he's probably going to be looking for that 6 or 8 year deal, and are the Blues willing to go that high? I mean, it just seems like every time we talk about a player 30 years old, whether it be David Perron, Pietrangelo, O'Reilly, we just come to this same conversation. The Blues probably don't want to do this, and this is what the player wants, and each one breaks differently. But you're right, history with Doug Armstrong, other than a guy like Shen, he had 1 year left, and they gave him 8, so they gave him a total of 9. That's going to take him into his late 30s. That's the only one that I can recall that they've kind of went out on a limb on.
But how old was Shenner when he signed that deal?
Yeah, so he would have been late 20s because the 9 years is going to take him into, I think, 36. I don't have it.
Yeah, so
top of my head here.
I think you can stomach getting to 36 a lot more when it's the last part of his deal than trying to stomach 38 at the end of a deal like Pavel Buchnevich. And look, Shenner makes good money. There's no doubt about it. But if Pavel Buchnevich is going to want to win the slot machine here, he's going to want 7.5, 8, 8.5, somewhere in that range. And I just don't know if at 36, 37, 38 on a deal like that, I just don't know how much gas will be left in the tank.
Yeah, I'm with you. And just for listeners to give some context here, why do they give out the 7-8 year deals like they did with Braden Shen? It's because it got the salary cap hit for Shen down to $6.5 million, and with that stagnant cap, the cap wasn't rising after COVID. They're able to fit more players in when you do deals like that and you stretch out the term on that. But now the cap, Riv, as you know, is going to jump up. It's going up about $4 million this year. So there's going to be plenty of cap room, so you don't maybe have to do those types of moves as you did in the past.
JR, great stuff as always, man. We appreciate you. We'll check back with you either next week or the week after.
Yep, sounds good. Talk to you later.
Thanks. That's Jeremy Rutherford at JP Rutherford online. If you want to give him a follow on Twitter, I'm sure you already are. We'll have plenty of Blues offseason talk to come. Tomorrow night is the first round of the NFL draft. We'll continue to identify what certain teams need in the draft and build the conversation around that next on 101 ESPN. Made the trip down to Herculaneum the other day. In fact, it was yesterday, and I was chatting with, if I can talk, chatting with a lot of the great people that had worked down at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. They still have tremendous deals going on throughout the month of April, and it's all right there at one location. It's in Herculaneum, one spot. You don't have to drive around the greater Illinois or St. Louis area and to try to find your next new ride. Not only do they have over 700 vehicles right there, but you can also take advantage of some of the incentives that they have on select new Nissan vehicles, including 0% APR and payment terms all the way up to 84 months, up to $5,000 off MSRP, and no down payment needed in 3 months of no payments to give your wallet a break and save some of that tax money that you just got back. And as always, all new Nissans at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum come with their exclusive lifetime warranty as well as the 30-day return promise. They're not just selling cars, they're selling an unforgettable experience. So whether you're looking for a new Nissan Pathfinder, a new Nissan Rogue, maybe you're looking for a new Nissan Altima, or maybe you're not in the market for a new Nissan, but you're looking at pre-owned vehicles. They get different makes and models there, too. Again, over 700 vehicles all in one location. Give them a try online at AutoCentersNissan.com, or when you head down to Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan.
Fastlane on 101 ESPN. NFL Draft is tomorrow night. We went through a couple of the teams yesterday in terms of what they need and how things could unfold in the first round of the NFL Draft. But, Marsh, we didn't get to the majority of the teams. We can fly through a couple more right now, at least the ones that could impact the first round of the draft. So what are the teams you highlighting today for us?
All right, well, obviously I have the Minnesota Vikings on there. They're the next team in this next wave of teams, but I think we all agree that they need a quarterback. Now, which quarterback they end up getting, who knows? We'll find that out.
Which quarterback do you want?
Man, I don't even
Williams?
know.
No?
I don't know.
Don't say Daniels. Carey can't stand him.
I did.
Yeah, seriously.
He's sick, man. This is bad.
I don't know if I really trust any of these quarterbacks to be franchise quarterbacks. I know we talked about that yesterday.
That's why I agree.
Yeah, I don't know.
Caleb Williams, maybe. But in fairness, I don't think anybody saw C.J. Stroud having the season that he had last year.
I didn't.
I don't think anybody did.
In fairness,
except for maybe the Texans.
Houston saw it, but I don't think anyone else did. So we could be wrong. I think, I didn't think Bryce Young was going to have a year. I thought he would be essentially what he was last year. But C.J. Stroud is the one quarterback when you look at it and you're like, this dude is really balling. He's playing at an elite level as a rookie. And no one, for the most part, expected that. So it could be one of the quarterbacks this year in this year's draft that kind of fall in that role for 24.
I wouldn't mind Michael Penix Jr. I wouldn't mind him, especially if he falls a little bit. I don't like Minnesota drafting up.
I think they're going
to get one of these quarterbacks that are a sure thing.
J.J. McCarthy.
I know, but
I think he's going to fall to them, and then essentially fall in their lap. And maybe I haven't given. I don't think that J.J. McCarthy is an elite quarterback. I think he played on a great team and a great system, and they had a lot of success. Jim Harbaugh is going to run the football, which helps you. And if they can run the football in Minnesota, maybe that'll be something, roll out, boot passes, things of that nature that allow him to be on the move and use his athleticism.
Yeah.
You can have success that way.
We've seen teams like the Dolphins scheme success for the quarterback. I don't think Tua is an elite talent. I think he's somebody that's accurate, short and over the middle. And when you have Tyreek Hill and you have Jalen Waddle and you have an offensive line that can give you a little time, that's what the results are there. But when you get into the playoffs and you need a dude, you're going to fall short. But J.J. McCarthy, could J.J. McCarthy fit in a system like that? Yeah, he could.
Could J.J. McCarthy be a dude? And hear me out. What I'm asking that is, what if he's not all polished up and all the things that you like, but he's a dude? Mm-hmm. Like he just goes out there.
Plays.
Johnny Manziel was.
Yeah, but I'm not going there. Because Johnny Manziel, he didn't. Well, there's a big difference because apparently J.J. McCarthy actually watches video and does all the things that you're supposed to do to be successful.
Did you guys watch that?
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah. Did you guys watch the Johnny Manziel?
Yeah, I did. And that's why I don't want to put J.J. McCarthy in that category.
Baker Mayfield.
Okay, so fine. So Baker Mayfield. Yeah. But maybe even a little better than Baker Mayfield. I'm just wondering because this kid has played under a tremendous amount of pressure. Mm-hmm. Whether he had a good team or not, there was a lot of pressure. He had a very well-known head coach. A lot of stuff happening around that team this year with suspensions and this and that and the spotlight on him. I'm just wondering, maybe he's not all the whistles and bells that you look at when you're checking the boxes on your QB, but then you put him under center and he just gets the job done.
How many games did he wind up playing in?
I think it's 23. He's like 23-1, 24 games.
I think that is something that we overlook a lot. Look at Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy
he went to school for 7 years.
That's what I'm saying. Brock Purdy played in 100.
You call those guys doctors.
He's a doctor of the starting quarterback.
He's a doctor of John Deere now.
Yeah, he is. But no, you're right, Jamie. I think he played 6,842 games in college, and that experience helps. It does help. I wonder if there's a quarterback. See, how many games did Michael Penix wind up playing? I think he was somebody
that played a lot. He played a lot too. He played before he transferred from Indiana.
Right. Yeah. I keep coming back to Michael Penix.
But they are afraid of him because of his injury history.
All right. Well, there's that
Latu kid out of UCLA has a neck problem. He's going to go somewhere in the
going
15.
into the NFL too.
Should have worn a neck roll.
Tua had a huge problem. They called that the dashboard injury.
What did he? Was it his groin?
No, it was his hip.
His hip. Yeah.
Because when you put, you know how people sometimes put their feet up on the dashboard and they get in accidents. They did the leg injury causes the hip.
We have to highly frown upon.
Do not do that. Yeah.
My kids tried to do that, and I'm like, no, get your feet down.
Yeah.
And you get in an accident, but anyways, that's what they call it.
Yeah. Multi-millionaire in Miami, you know?
Plus, you don't want like the smelly feet and the AC blowing in the car.
My little daughter used to put her feet up there and her toes would touch the windshield, leave toe marks. What are we doing here? Sorry, off the rails.
Anyways.
Must be the parenting.
Clearly.
Wow. All right. Let's move on to another team. A team that has a quarterback that I think we all agree is not good. And it was one of Anthony's favorite teams heading into the season last year, and that's the New Orleans Saints. What do they need?
They were a favorite team of mine,
Carey,
too.
I'll tell you what, Carey.
You can blame me.
Carey fooled me on this one.
I'll take that.
I knew Derek Carr couldn't play.
I did.
I told you that.
I twisted your arm into believing that the NFC South and the New Orleans Saints with Derek Carr were going to be stellar. They had a great defense. Michael Thomas was going to be healthy. Alvin Kamara. They had all of these weapons. It didn't matter. Yeah, Derek Carr, he was. That's why they got rid of him in Vegas. It wasn't good.
No.
The numbers
are good,
it.
but that's Derek Carr.
I acknowledged
the numbers
it after
are always
the first
good.
game. They won like 7-6 or 7. It was like 9-6, and I was like, it didn't look good.
Terrible in the red zone, but at the end of the year. Here, I'll read you the numbers right now because somebody will do this. He had almost 4,000 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
Empty calories.
It is.
Yeah.
But this is what we do with Kirky Boy, too. Kirky Boy's going to put up good numbers.
Don't be looking at me. That's your guy now.
I'll look up at the screen now where I'm up there. My hideous ass head. You know? That's Derek Carr. And I said to CD, and I trust him. CD's my best friend.
I believed it.
And I said, you know what, CD,
something.
you know.
I saw something.
It's wrong.
Maybe I was a year too soon in my prediction.
I doubt it.
I doubt it, too.
So what do they need in the draft? Do they need a player? Do they need a new head coach?
I'm surprised they didn't get a new head coach.
They need they definitely need offensive line help badly. I mean, interior offensive line help. They could use a tackle. I think they need to add to their defensive line. I think they need to go trenches all the way. That's what I think New Orleans needs. By the way, we do need a Gauntlet contestant. 314-399-9646, the Air Comfort Service tax line. So if you want to play in the Gauntlet, you have your opportunity. But to me, trenches for the Saints. And they're right there at 14. Like they're always right there in the teens. But that's the route I would go if I was the Saints. Offensive line.
I agree.
Protect Carr when he throws 4 feet.
Just hit the ball off the Alvin.
I like when you're snarky.
He'll complete it, though, Jamie.
I like when you're so mad at a player.
He'll complete it.
Anthony takes it personal. It's so much fun.
You know what drives me crazy, Jamie? I'm sure there's something in hockey that's like this, too, where somebody just keeps pointing it out. Well, look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
And you have to explain yourself over and over and over again. You say, I know. The final statistics look good. I'll concede that. What has the guy won? Nothing.
Yeah.
They might be okay.
Don't you dare. Don't
They
you
got
dare.
Chris Olave, who I forgot about. They got Equinemius St. Brown, the other St. Brown. Don't forget about him. They got.
I'm out.
All right.
We got a text from the 314. Screw the draft. Can we please talk about why Jamie just said whistles and bells instead of bells and whistles? Is that a Canadian thing?
Oh.
No, it's just a me thing. I don't know. I got it all screwed up. I mean, brain damage is real, guys.
You know?
Ask me tomorrow. I might say it different tomorrow. It might be horns and whistles. Like, you just don't know.
We overlook it because we know Jamie's dealing with stuff. Okay?
Yeah, thank you, Anthony.
Why don't the listeners
I didn't even hear it.
Well, Carey, you know, because you're dealing with a lot of the same things.
Some things I just.
Well, now that we have Paul Gorman, Steve Euchre.
Look at me.
The text line's
and
listening
bells.
in.
Anthony, you know, you've smashed your face into a number of
Smashed my
pools.
face in the pool. I hit my head on the desk. No wonder I'm saying Steve Euchre.
Yep. Happens.
Does.
With confidence.
Yeah. Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and April is here, and with the springtime weather, it is important to have quality windows. If yours won't open to let in the fresh air, won't seal tight to keep out the pollen and the bugs, or have been leaking water all winter, then it's time to talk to the experts at Window Nation. Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 windows free. There's no limit to how much you could save. You could save even more with no interest or payments for 24 months. Window Nation's windows come with a lifetime warranty and can be installed in 1 day or less. With proven quality and service, when you buy from Window Nation, you can rest assured you're getting quality, affordable windows that meet or beat the ones from the national brand names. Don't miss out on your chance to afford quality windows with an unlimited buy 2, get 2 free plus 0 interest, 0 payments for 24 months. You cannot afford to wait. You can also get a house of windows. If you purchase a house of windows, you can get a pair of St. Louis Cardinals tickets. It's easy. Just call 866-90-NATION or visit them online at windownation.com. Again, that's 866-90-NATION or visit them online at windownation.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
Four warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit mastor.com.
Time for the Gauntlet here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, where it's 4:04. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsham, Anthony Stalter, and we welcome in Dylan. What's up, Dylan?
What's up, fellas? How's it going?
Doing great, my man. First time in the Gauntlet, or have you played before?
I played on it a couple of years ago. Beat Marshy in random and lost to Jamie in hockey.
Oh. So is it a...
You guys might remember me laying on the field with my foot on sideways at the...
Oh, my God!
Is this
Dylan! How's the foot, buddy?
Yeah.
It's doing good. Playing softball again. Feeling all good again.
Good.
There you go.
All right, can I just advise you to stay away from knocker ball in the future?
No more knocking my balls together.
Yes. You never know what can happen. It's very dangerous, and that day ended up a little sideways for you.
Jamie.
I felt bad he was wearing a Rivers jersey that day.
He was. He totally was.
That's all my fault.
Yeah, that was a tough night. Are you gonna go to this year's home run derby?
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
I kind of hope. If you do, I feel like
they
we
haven't
should.
announced it yet, so I'm just waiting to see the official announcement.
It's coming.
It's happening.
Yeah.
We don't know either because they don't tell us anything.
No, they did. They told us. I don't know if we can. Yeah, I don't know if we can release that information or what.
I don't know.
I'll tell you later, buddy.
I appreciate it.
But Dylan, we should have you out there for sure.
Yeah, I'd love to come again. It'd be great.
All right. Well, hey, we got to get down to business, though. So are you taking on Marshy again first, or is this a revenge spot and you taking on Jamie Rivers?
I got to get my revenge on Jamie.
All right.
Nice.
All right, Dylan. Oh, you're all
right,
healed
Jamie.
up and brave, eh, buddy? Okay.
Yeah, ready to go.
Good luck, my man.
Same to you.
All right, so Jamie's going to make his way into the cone of silence. By the way, Jamie and I were walking back from going to the bathroom, and he goes, man, I feel like I haven't played a Gauntlet in like a month. Ask and receive. Exactly. All right, Dylan, go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel, Marcy.
What are we hoping for, Dylan?
Baseball would be great. Anything but hockey, especially against Jamie.
I don't blame you on that.
Wow.
What do we got?
Random is today's category.
All right. How do you feel about random?
I'm pretty good at knowing useless stuff, so let's do it.
Okay, there you go. Marsh is going to hand us the launch codes here. Each question is worth 2 points today, unless you ask for the options, and then those questions are worth 1 point. Dylan, are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, question number 1. Where will this summer's Olympic Games be held?
Be Paris, France.
I'm glad you knew that because the options were a little rough for me to pronounce.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, question number 2.
I just told him he was right.
I don't think. Well, before she married Prince Harry, Meghan Markle starred on which USA network drama series?
Options.
Is it Suits, The Sinner, or Monk?
Let's do Suits.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Dylan, question number 3. The world's largest indoor rodeo takes place where?
Do you need a city or a state? Because I'd say Texas.
I believe we need a city.
City. Let's narrow it down then.
All right, we have Houston, Texas, Guadalupe, Mexico, or Santa Fe, New Mexico.
There's probably a swerve somewhere, but let's go with the gut. Let's go with Houston.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, Dylan, question 4. Who's the main hero of the Uncharted video game franchise?
Uncharted. I'm not sure. Options.
Constance Reed, Nathan Drake, or Tom Johnston?
Let's try out Nathan Drake.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, we'll bring back Jamie Rivers from the Cone of Silence. Dylan, how you feeling?
Not as good as I did last time against Marshy.
Okay, well, let's see how you do here. Jamie, how's the Cone of Silence?
I was good. Grant and I were talking. We were going over some things, and actually Grant brought up a very interesting point. He said that, because we were talking about the home run derby, and we're talking about Dylan and all that stuff, and Grant says, hey, has the Rizzuto show beaten you guys at all with the new cast?
No.
Yeah, they're 0 for Gopher.
No, I've never lost.
Yeah.
Marsh has never lost to them.
Yeah,
Not
well,
once.
he was talking about, like, our new cast and, like, Learn and Rafe, too, on their end. So, yeah. Sucks to be them. Okay.
Yeah, it does.
Got to keep defending our title.
There we go, baby.
Dylan, I
How'd
love that.
Dylan do, guys?
Yeah, you should have
Carey?
a pack of lunch.
A pack of lunch?
Yeah.
A hefty one.
Okay. Let's go, baby.
All right, Jamie, your category is 100% completely random.
These are fun, though. Let's go, baby.
Question number 1. Where will this summer's Olympic Games be held?
This summer, huh?
This summer.
Give me the options, please.
Brisbane, Australia. Pyongyang, North Korea. What is it?
I believe it's Pyongyang.
Pyongyang.
Pyongyang, North
Yep.
Korea.
Yep.
Or Paris, France.
Paris, France. Final answer.
Question number 2. Before she married Prince Harry, Meghan Markle starred on which USA Network drama series?
She starred in this, and she looked damn good, too. I'm not going to lie. I am not going to lie. She only get into law school. Suits. Final answer.
She wanted to do it on her own.
What?
Her dad, her dad was a lawyer.
I don't know what Anthony's talking about.
You know?
She didn't want help.
She didn't want help.
I would help her.
Hey, your dad was a very famous lawyer.
Yeah, he was.
Not a very nice man, though.
Not a very nice. Well, he did what he had to do.
Guys, I'm only in season 4, so be quiet.
Okay.
Talking about Meghan Markle or Kim Kardashian?
Oh, that's all.
We didn't say mother. We said father.
He said lawyer.
Oh, yeah, he was. Well, was he?
Yeah. All right, next question. Question 3, please.
Number 3. The world's largest indoor rodeo takes place where?
San Antonio, Texas. Final answer.
All right, Jamie, final question for you. Who is the main hero of Uncharted video game franchise? The Uncharted video game franchise.
Options, please.
All right. Constance Reed, Nathan Drake, or Tom Johnston?
Okay, I think it's Nathan Drake. Final answer, please.
Okay. Let's go over these today. Let's just start there. Who is the main hero of the Uncharted video game franchise? Dylan, you went with Nathan Drake. Jamie, as we just heard, you also went Nathan Drake. Correct answer is
Nathan Drake.
Nice job, guys.
Right.
You both needed the options, but you both got it right. 1-1 tie. Where will this summer's Olympic Games be held? Dylan, you went with Paris, France. Jamie, you also went Paris, France. Correct answer is...
It's Paris, France.
But Dylan did not need the options for that, so Dylan's got himself a 1-point lead. Before she married Prince Harry, Meghan Markle starred on which USA Network drama series? Dylan, you said Suits. Jamie, you also went Suits. Correct answer is
Suits.
But Jamie didn't need the options this time, so we're tied up.
I'd have been disappointed in you. We talked about it.
Yeah, you just talked about that.
Well, I would never forget.
Oh, okay, just make sure.
Comes down to this, boys. We're all tied up between Dylan and Jamie. The world's largest indoor rodeo takes place where? Jamie, you went with San Antonio, Texas. Dylan, you went Houston, Texas. If it's Houston, Texas, Dylan wins. If it's San Antonio, Texas, Jamie wins. If it's anywhere else in Texas or the
entire world,
we got a walk-off. Dylan.
You have chosen wisely.
I got to pull this up.
I was singing San Antonio as well.
Here's why. Is I played in the minors in San Antonio. We had a month-long road trip.
That's the Spurs too.
For the rodeo.
Yeah.
They call it the rodeo trip.
I did look this up.
Yes.
So it is the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. It is the largest in the world, and I believe it has been for the past 14 years.
Okay.
So maybe Jamie was playing in the minors 14 years ago.
It was, easily, yeah.
Either way, Dylan, you won. You advanced.
It doesn't matter.
Nice job.
It doesn't matter what happened 15, 16 years ago. It's what happens now. So
Absolutely.
Congratulations, Dylan.
Nice job, Dylan.
Thank you. Glad I got my redemption against Jamie.
I'm kind of glad you did too, buddy. After all you've been through,
hear that? Jamie likes losing.
He does.
I don't mind.
4:14 p.m.
I remember
April
Dylan's
24th.
foot. I'm fine with losing to Dylan.
Yeah.
I needed a win here, guys.
Dylan.
Buddy, you got it, man.
Nice job,
You
buddy.
earned it.
You'll be back tomorrow to take on Carey, Marsh, or me.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
All right, we'll see you, buddy. See ya.
See you later.
So, for those that don't know, Dylan, and I think a lot of you remember this, but for those that don't, you're like, hey, what are you guys talking about? Last year at the Home Run Derby between us and the Rizzuto Show, the great, fine folks at Carshield Field put on a knocker ball challenge where you get into those big bubbles, those big bubble knocker balls. And they had the two contestants, Dylan was one of them, collide at midfield.
Well, they rounded second or like they were doing something.
Yeah, rounding second. So they were lined up foul pole to foul pole. One person was on one foul pole, the other person was on the other foul pole, or the foul line.
Yeah.
Then they collided with each other,
got up, and then whoever raced and got to the other foul line would win. Well, Dylan at one point either stumbled or he was trying to do a kind of a flip or something like that. Got his foot caught in the turf. And that puppy was sideways when he was done.
Yeah, well, I remember when he got up to run, continued running, he couldn't run, he fell down. Everyone's like, he fell down again. I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
So I ran over. And I moved the ball, like, in front of him, so, like, people in the stands and, I mean, he knew. He was in shock.
Yeah.
But I was trying, and didn't do it fast enough because everybody on that side all saw it at the same time. It was a collective all. Then Jamie runs over. And Dylan, in all his calmness, I mean, his foot is sideways. He looks at Jamie and goes, Jamie, you ever have an injury like this?
I swear he did. And I stopped. I looked at his foot, and I'm like, no, not quite like this. I mean, I've had some stuff happen, but not this.
You're going to be fine, Dylan.
Yep.
It was bad, but fortunately for Dylan,
he's tough as nails.
He's tough as nails. Got a lot of grit. We know that.
Yeah.
Wound up rehabbing, and it's good to hear him.
He's a fast lane guy, right there.
Yeah, damn right he's a fast lane. But he had a Jamie Rivers jersey on.
He did.
Man, that was a tough night for Dylan. All right.
And the Rizzuto show.
Well, it gave the Rizzuto show a chance to tell themselves
Not this year, though.
We didn't win. They didn't lose, but we didn't win.
No, they lost.
They got
We're going to take them behind the woodshed this summer.
Yeah, we really are.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
We're going to swing, big boy?
I'm ready. Yeah, I need to get to the batting cages.
Yeah.
But don't go to my damn shoes. Don't go to the Cardinals.
No.
Yeah, they'll have you probably.
So,
beating into the ground.
There's a swing around Funtown on the way to the ball field.
Okay.
You can stop by on the highway, swing around Funtown. That's what I did.
Swing around Funtown.
Did you do that? Yeah. You did that? I did that the first year because I was coming back from a golf trip that we've talked about before. But, you have that golf swing and the baseball swing, they're a little different.
Yes.
So I had to make sure the launch angle was there. And the ball wasn't going into the trees.
We stopped, and the manager of the place comes over, and he knew who we were, and he's like, oh, yeah, all right. Hey, hooks us up in the cage, gives us a few extra tokens. He's like, you go get those guys.
Yeah, he was awesome. I wish I remember his name, but yeah, he was fantastic. That was too, like, Jamie and I were feeling okay, but then right at the end there, we both started hammering. I'm like, we're locked in. Here we go.
We're starting to wire low. I was like, okay. And we're like, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Well, let's go now.
Yep.
We're good.
All right. The Athletic did an interesting article ranking the front offices based on how other execs feel about those front offices. They gave out certain votes for first place. Any team garnering any votes got a little attention, a little love, a little ranking. Cardinals front office. We'll tell you next on 101 ESPN. After all that rain yesterday, how's your roof looking? If you got some leaks, if you got some damage, if you're worried about how old your roof is and whether or not you need to replace it, give my friends at the Happy Roof Company a call, because if you call today at 314-665-3001, the Happy Roof Company will have someone to look at your issue within 24 hours. Maybe you want to sell your home and you want to increase the value of your home. Well, why don't you give the Happy Roof Company a call? Because if you need a new roof, man, they've got free estimates and competitive pricing to go along with the cost-effective effective solutions on both flat roofing and metal roofs. They got a 10-year labor warranty on all shingle roofs. They only use superior high-end products, and they have financing available, not to mention the 10-year labor warranty on all those shingle roofs. So when you call the Happy Roof Company, whether it's to have someone to look at an issue or, again, you're replacing an entire roof, realize that the Happy Roof Company, they don't chase storms. They don't come in and out of St. Louis just looking for a quick buck, and then they disappear, and you don't know whether or not the warranty will hold up. 100% of their market is in the St. Louis and surrounding areas. They've been in St. Louis forever, and their headquarters right now, it's out in Sunset Hills. They know what it takes to keep you safe in your home. Give them a call right now, Happy Roof Company, 314-665-3001, or visit thehappyroof.com. I always enjoy what The Athletic does, and they put together an article detailing the top 10 front offices in Major League Baseball. 40 executives from Major League Baseball voted, and the top 10 include the Dodgers at number 1, no surprise. The Tampa Bay Rays at number 2, again, not a surprise. 3 was the Atlanta Braves. 4, the Cleveland Guardians, who have the best record in baseball right now, by the way. Number 5, the Baltimore Orioles. Number 6, the Milwaukee Brewers. Number 7, the Arizona Diamondbacks. Number 8 was a tie between the Minnesota Twins and Texas Rangers.
Where are the Cardinals?
And number 10 was the New York Yankees, guys.
Yeah,
so the
11.
top 10.
Probably 11.
Just outside the
Maybe
top
12.
Yeah.
Well,
Last year was tough.
They only did the 10. Now, there were other teams that received votes, though, guys. So let me get to this. Number 11, actually, so they did go on with the rankings. I apologize. I misspoke on that. So number 11.
Yeah. Get to our guys.
Philadelphia Phillies. Number 12, the Seattle Mariners. Number 13, the Houston Astros. And number 14, the Detroit Tigers. Number 15, you got a tie. And it only went through 15 here, but we do have a tie. Cincinnati Reds and
St. Louis Cardinals.
New York Mets.
Oh, whoa. The Mets?
Yeah.
What?
Those that did not receive votes, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Royals, the White Sox, the A's, shocking on those last two, Angels, Nationals, Marlins, Padres, Rockies, Giants, Pirates, Cubs, and yeah, the Cardinals did not receive a vote for front office.
Why not?
Top front offices. Have the Cardinals lost their way? Have the Cardinals as an organization lost their way? We know about the history. We know about their reputation. We know what they built previously. What I'm asking now is, has this front office lost its way when it comes to roster building, development, all of that?
Well, it appears like they have. I mean, if you're not getting any votes, so, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but usually your group of peers are the best judges of your abilities.
Yeah.
Like if you take NFL football players, like if you take a certain position, so a fullback, if you get a room full of fullbacks, like they they judge you accordingly.
Correct.
They know. And you know, whether it's hockey players or whatever it is, baseball, like, so you have a group of people who are all front office people who know what makes it go well or what makes it go poorly. And the Cardinals, for the longest time, have always been like the example of the way you do it, the Cardinal way. That franchise is like, it's such a historical franchise. They didn't get a damn vote.
Not one.
I mean,
not a one.
My opinion is worth whatever you consider it to be. If you're listening, or if you're Mo right now listening, because I know you do, I'm just saying, my opinion is nothing. But the opinion of your peers is everything. And if the peers for the Cardinals, the other organizations around the league, are not recognizing the Cardinals as the model franchise anymore, you got problems, man.
Yeah, I think we were talking about it. I talked about it as soon as I came in today. I asked you all, did you hear what Charles Barkley said? Now, maybe he was joking, but that's not so what Charles Barkley said on NBA TNT last night, they had a text from a fan, and the profile picture was a St. Louis Cardinal. There's the St. Louis Cardinal logo. And he said, the St. Louis Cardinals, are they still in the major leagues? They still got a team? The Cardinals are they still around? Now, maybe he's joking, but Marsh talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Outside of St. Louis, how are they viewed? I don't know that they are viewed with the same mystique that they have been viewed with during my upbringing. As a child growing up in the 80s, 90s, 2000, like the St. Louis Cardinals were, other than the New York Yankees and maybe the Boston Red Sox, they were there with those upper echelon teams.
We'll carry one step further. I grew up in Canada. And the Cardinals
Same thing.
were the model.
Yes.
Like, because I remember watching the Expos play against them all the time, like the Cardinals. Everybody talked about the Cardinals.
You knew
Ozzie
about them.
Smith,
Yes.
Buddy Herzog, and like, all of that. So,
No, it's just the name brand, it feels like it has shifted to a degree where, as you said, if your peers don't view you as that's worse than anything else. But then everyone on the outside that is not here located in St. Louis, if they don't view you as that, it's about winning championships, but not just winning championships. It's about being in a position to win championships, being in those championship games, to have the opportunity to be there. You got to get there and make runs in the playoffs and have, historic players and historic plays and things like that. And that has been really lacking from this Cardinals organization for some time now.
Mm-hmm. It absolutely has. No, you guys are both right. You can't just continue to botch decisions like the Randy Arozarena, or give up so much for Ozuna, or name the various missteps that you've had in free agency.
How about the constant revolving door of having rotation problems?
Right. And now you just sent, and look, this isn't a referendum on how Jordan Walker is going to perform his entire career, but Jordan Walker was just sent down again today. You haven't been able to rebuild your pitching at all. We could sit here and talk about, well, we think that Tink Hence is this and that, and Gordon Graceffo, Michael McGregor. You haven't been hitting on these pitchers. So at some point you say, what you're doing is not working. And I do think it's interesting that the last 2 years, this year we're still, we'll see. But you're sitting here with a minus 26 run differential, even after today's win. And granted, 14-1, a loss like 14-1, that's going to impact you. But you're in last place again. Last year you finished in last place. What is the major difference between last year, this year, compared to previous years? You're playing a full schedule now. You're not just getting fat, dumb, and happy on the National League Central.
What's the difference between? I thought you said from last year to this year.
No,
the last 2 years.
I worded that wrong.
Okay.
I did. I totally. What I mean is this.
The last 2 years.
The last 2 years. Exactly.
Yeah. And I think
you're not beating up on the NL Central.
Yes, and to your point, what you have said time and time again, the NL Central has been terrible or not trying. Yeah, you can have success when 4 of the other teams, or 3 of the 4 other teams in your division, aren't putting forth the effort, aren't spending money, aren't signing players that are trying to have success or going to have success. You can win a lot more games. But if you take away those games and now you have to play, as you said, a balanced schedule, that's one of the concerns. 2 of the concerns I had going into last season was that the schedule change and the banning of the shift. If your pitchers are pitch to contact pitchers, and you know that you can have 3 guys on one side of the field, and the batter more than likely is going to hit it there, you're probably going to have more success. When you changed those things, this team doesn't seem like they decided to change with the rules. And so we're here right now, dead last in the division again, kind of the same issues that you saw last year again. And so some things, yeah, you got to win today. You got smoked a couple of days ago, yesterday. But you have to figure out how to be consistent and be better day in and day out.
So, Carey, you said something that was interesting to me. A couple things is, one, you said here you are sitting in last place, and you finished last place last year in a division that isn't trying. So think about that for a second. Think about that. Okay, we can isolate the person. Oh, they're trying it, but overall, the narrative of the NL Central is that you got a bunch of teams that aren't spending money, that they don't care. If that's the case, then how did they end up ahead of you last year, and how are they ahead of you now?
The Brewers are I don't know if that's a rhetorical question or not, but the Brewers are significantly better than you at finding value on other rosters. That is the unequivocal truth. The only reason why the Brewers continue to be good is because the front office knows what other teams undervalue. And they have done this year in and year out. The Cubs, kind of a mixture of the two. The Pirates and Reds are only going to be as good as their young talent is. That's it. Because they're not going to do anything else to supplement their roster. But specifically with the Brewers, they unearth undervalued players and plug them in. The Rays have done this for years, and they've succeeded, at least in the regular season. All right, we'll continue this conversation because, Mark, should we get any mic drops on this? Because I'd be interested. Mic drops or text. If you want to send in a mic drop or a text, let us know what you think. Are the Cardinals behind now? Because we're talking about this front office. So we'll carry this over for another segment here and continue our thoughts on it next on 101 ESPN.
All right, Magic Conch. What do we do now?
Nothing.
I can't say enough great things about Green Envy and what they've done for my lawn over the past decade now. We moved into our home, I think, in 2013, and almost immediately I went to Green Envy because I knew that I wanted to have a better-looking lawn. Previous owner did a tremendous job taking care of the house, but I looked at some areas and I thought, there's a lot of weeds here. There's an area on the side of the house that it just doesn't look right. It looks patchy. Green Envy came on out, and they stopped by, and the technician, before I even hopped on their program, the technician goes, yeah, this is what's going on in this area. This is what's going on in that area. He knew what to do to get my lawn to look flush and green and take care of the weeds. I don't have the time to research it. Certainly now. I barely did then. I certainly don't now. I didn't want to waste the money to try to get, to find the right products. Green Envy already knows that. So jumping on their program was one of the smartest decisions I did as a homeowner. And you can follow suit too. Green Envy, tremendous job. They have that one patch that I was talking about. They had grass growing in that one area. If you're mowing your lawn now and all you're doing is cutting up the weeds and the crabgrass, call Green Envy. They'll get the grass to grow, and it'll be healthy throughout the year. And over time, they'll actually back down the program because your lawn is healthier. That's what they want anyways. So give them a call, 636-757-1600. Again, 636-757-1600. Tell them Stalter sent you, told you to call. They love the partnership with 101 ESPN. Been in business in St. Louis for over a decade. There are Green Envy, and they will make your lawn the envy of your neighborhood.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals lost yesterday 14-1, but followed it up with a 5-1 victory earlier today. Kyle Gibson pitched 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 earned run. He walked 2 and struck out 6. We'll continue talking about the Cardinals throughout the remainder of the show, including have the Cardinals lost their way. We'll continue that conversation coming up next. We had Jeremy Rutherford on the show earlier today. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We will also talk with BT in the 5 o'clock hour to go over today's game. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
For the most part, as long as I can remember, the only real championship quality success the team has had was with La Russa and Duncan. They identified veteran players that could fit their system, play the way they wanted them to play, and have reliability. You know, La Russa had the reputation of not wanting younger players. Well, we can see why, because this is what you get. They also used to take those young players and trade them for solid players, team players, gritty players, all the things that we say we don't have now. You know, they did not rely on young players. They just didn't.
That was Dylan. No, I'm sorry. Dylan was our Gauntlet. Yeah, that was Randy. Randy brings up an excellent point. Yep, there you go.
That's what that was.
Yeah, I mean, you lost Dave Duncan. You know, we call Jose Oquendo the secret weapon, and he absolutely is, and was, and has been. Dave Duncan would take a pitcher such as Chris Carpenter, who had talent, certainly, but was coming off the injury, and make some adjustments with Chris Carpenter. And then all of a sudden, Chris Carpenter wound up being a Cy Young winner / contender. You bring in some players that might be undervalued in other spots, and you give them to Dave Duncan. Dave Duncan worked his magic. And Tony La Russa had that reputation of playing that hard 9. He wanted guys to be, you know, it's not unlike other kind of hard-nosed coaches that prioritized winning in a certain way. Whether that's Bill Belichick or Bill Walsh or, Greg Popovich for a while. You know, I know Bob Knight's not your favorite, Jamie, but, Bobby Knight there for a while. Guys that really emphasized this is how we're going to win. So you lose those guys. Yeah, there's going to be an adjustment. There's going to be a transition. In defense of Mo, he did make the deal in 11 to bring in and revamp an entire bullpen and help you win a World Series. You can't overlook that. You can't overlook the fact that several years after Albert went to Anaheim, they did get to the World Series. They have gotten to the NLCS a couple of times under Mo. You can't overlook that. But right now, I can't help but think this is an organization that seems behind it when they used to be out in front of it.
How many years ago was it, the NLCS, where they went there and got embarrassed?
19.
Okay. And they barely scored a run, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Washington had a pretty good
great rotation. It is what it is. Obviously, they were a good team. Obviously, they were good.
They were better than you.
Yeah. I think
significantly.
The bigger problem that I think Cardinals fans have is that somehow you've fallen behind the teams, even in just your division.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings me to something I found on Twitter from our good friend, Bernie Miklas. And Bernie always finds great numbers and good opinions. And I took a picture of this because I was like, you know what? That's unbelievable. And here's what Bernie wrote. He said, from the start of 2017, the Cardinals have outspent the Milwaukee Brewers $1.2 billion to $770 million on 26-man payroll. The winning percentage for those teams over that period of time, Milwaukee, 557. The Cardinals, 527. So it's not just a matter of spending money. It's spending money the right way.
Correct.
Like
that's how it's always been.
I think that's my biggest issue with everything that's been going on is, and going back to what you said earlier, you're like, oh, you're in last place. I know the NL Central right now, everybody's above 500 but the Cardinals. But historically here in the last, I don't even know how long, historically, how about that? The Central has not been great. And if you're telling me that you've got 2 Hall of Famers on the corners and you've got Contreras behind the dish and you've got, Jordan Walker now in Memphis, but you've got some young, good play, and you're still nowhere near the Brewers right now, and you're spending more, there's a major problem somewhere.
Let me ask you this. How did the Cardinals win?
They score more runs than the other team.
Well, yeah, I walked right into that one.
Kerry, I've seen some really in-depth answers in my day.
I've been working on this for a while, learning about baseball.
Yeah.
Anthony, I thought your question was really good.
Thank you.
Score more runs is how you win games.
Right.
I don't know how they win.
There we go. Thank you, Marsh.
I don't know. We've seen them play small ball to get back into games, but other than one game, maybe 2, have they won from the long ball?
Yeah.
Other than that, just base hits and the other team screwing up.
They win by having their stars be stars. They win by having their players play well. They win by Paul Goldschmidt being an MVP caliber player, same as Nolan Arenado, same as Nolan Gorman hitting 25 to 30 bombs. They win by that's how they win. They win by Lars Nootbaar being a guy that's going to hit the ball into the gaps and sometimes hit it over the fence.
Yeah.
You have to have Contreras hitting the ball hard, hitting it over the fence. Jordan Walker, if and when he comes back up. That's how they win, coupled with pretty good pitching. And Kyle Gibson had plenty of opportunities to give up more than 1 run today, and he did not. So hats off to him. He pitched very well, despite allowing runners to be on base and putting himself in some dangerous situations, but he was able to get out of it. But that's how you win. Your players play well. And right now, they aren't. I wanted to go back to your point about the Milwaukee Brewers. There is no expectation in Milwaukee. They got 1 pennant. They've never won a World Series. Nobody in Milwaukee cares. Respectfully. They give a damn here. They care.
But I don't think that's
the expectation.
I don't think that's why the Brewers win, though.
No. I'm saying nobody. I mean, they don't care about how much money is spent. They have a higher winning percentage. Cool, but nobody. They don't care about it, in my opinion, as much as the Cardinal fans care about it. There's an expectation. Cardinals fans and Pittsburgh Steelers fans are so much alike. Your expectation is to play in Super Bowls and win championships. Making the playoff. They want to fire Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh. He's never had a losing season. Get him the hell out of here. He got 1 Super Bowl, only been to 2. They want to get rid of him. Been in the playoffs. The Steelers released 3 quarterbacks, and their team got better than they were last year. And they want to fire him. Because the expectation, it doesn't matter. No one cares that you're trying hard. You want a medal? No. We want a championship. We want a trophy. We want a ring. And the same thing stands for the St. Louis Cardinal fans. Nobody cares that you're trying hard. Win a championship. Be in the championship game. Be on a championship run. And if you're not, then it's a problem. And that's the standard that you have built up for yourself. Now live up to it.
Yeah, and I don't think the front office knows how to get there.
Then you got to find somebody else that does.
I agree.
I think that's honestly where there's an addition or a subtraction that's needed right now for the Cardinals.
Milwaukee, what I'm saying is, that's why I asked, how do the Cardinals win? They don't know how. Milwaukee knows how to win. Milwaukee knows what it needs to do in the offseason and throughout the season to win games. How their roster is built, how they're going to execute. The Cardinals have, I've made this point for years now. They've got their 1 foot in one box and 1 foot in another. We kind of spend, but we don't really spend on the biggest players. And we're a draft and development team. Guess what? You wind up chasing 2 rabbits. You wind up with none. The Brewers are focused. The Rays are focused. To Jamie's point, or Bernie's point, and Jamie echoed it, it's not about spending. We focus so much on spending. The Cardinals actually spend to a decent degree. It's not about that. It's about spending correctly. You can wind up with a $50 million player that doesn't produce or a $5 million player that outproduces them. You got to pick the right guy. And consistently, the Cardinals have not. And consistently, of late, the Brewers have. It's a difference. You don't know how to win.
You don't know
anymore.
There you go. You got to win. And by winning, I'm not, again, winning the division is that's the expectation.
Right.
Like, that's the bottom line. That's the lowest of where we're trying to get to. Winning the division is that should be done and not even have to think twice about it. Winning the division, making it to the NLCS, putting yourself in a position to win a World Series. That is the expectation for St. Louis Cardinal fans. And I think they feel, speaking of fans and speaking of myself, at times it feels like that's not the expectation of the front office.
Well, and let me state this. The Brewers have done nothing in the postseason, okay? So I don't want to overlook that.
But it's Milwaukee. No one cares.
But what I'm saying is I don't want to overlook the fact that the Brewers, their model has limitations too.
Yeah, but they're still playing
they're
better
still
than your
playing
team.
better and more consistent. I don't think the division is a layup. I've said it for 2 years now. It's not anymore. I've been wrong. Their model, I think, is so broken that to right now, they just got a below average team. All right, we'll continue. Maybe not this discussion, but if you want to chime in, we're more than willing to take your conversations and things like that. Yep.
In fact, quite honestly, I'd love to hear what some people think.
Me too.
Specifically this topic. Like, what has happened to your Cardinals and, how would you fix it? The mic drop feature on the 101 ESPN mobile app is available, and also the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. You can call that number, and you can leave a message, and DJ Marshy Marsh can find those and pull them up.
There you go. Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter, it's the Fast Line on 101 ESPN. Why don't we start our Sports Six-Pack, though? So our Sports Six-Pack, 314-399-9646. We'll start that next on 101 ESPN.
Gentlemen, the NBA is full of excitement. I mean, watching some of these games, and you got instant replays being called out, things like that. But no, FanDuel is doing a great job of being a part of the NBA playoffs. And right now, if you're a new customer to FanDuel, things are really good for you. All you have to do, Carey, is you place a $5 bet, and FanDuel is going to give you $150 in bonus bets, win or lose, and you use that throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, Jamie, you can bet on three-pointers made in the game, over and under point totals, first basket score, and so much more. I'm looking at this Thunder-Pelicans game. The Pelicans trying to get back into the series. Maybe you want to take SGA to score the first basket. Possibly. I don't know. You can do it. You can go to FanDuel.com/fast to get started. It is simple to get done.
That's right. Like Carey just said, FanDuel.com/fast. That way you get started, and then a $5 bet. You get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose, but you do have to sign up. Again, FanDuel.com/fast. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager. Only $10 first deposit required. Bonus district is now withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
All right, time for the Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We'll probably only answer one and then carry this over. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, Marsh.
I didn't realize how off clock we were.
Yeah, we're way off clock.
Question number 1.
From the 314, what is the Cardinals' biggest issue? To the 314, it has to be complacency. They walk into the games with the mindset, we are the St. Louis Cardinals. We deserve to win. That's why they consistently get outplayed and out-hustled. It's easy to blame the manager or front office, but the team is the enemy, in my opinion.
I mean, I might agree with the team is their own worst enemy. I don't necessarily think they're walking in there with this real cocky attitude. In fact, I think some of those guys that are walking in there right now are the opposite of that. I think some of these guys have confidence issues, which is leading to consistency problems, whether it's at the plate or on the bump. So I do agree that the Cardinals are their own worst enemy when it comes to their performance, but Carey, I don't know. I don't think it's because they're cocky.
Yeah, I don't think they feel like they can just, in terms of roll the ball out there and they're going to win. I just think they are not playing well. And they won today, won the series. So I don't want to beat down on them too bad. But the problem is you're not consistent enough. And last year the problem was the pitching. The pitching wasn't consistent enough. Now the pitching is better, but the hitting isn't there every single day. And, then you have a game where you give up 7 runs by your starter, and then you're 7 runs by your next guy, and you're down 14-1 for you in the blink of an eye. And so it's the team has to play better. At the end of the day, again, coaches do their job pre-game, post-game. When it comes game time, it's on the players to do their job. And right now, again, they won today, but they're still last in the division, and they got a hole to climb out of.
So if I'm answering that question, I think that they don't know who they are. They don't know how they're going to win games. They don't know how they're losing games. They don't know who they are. They're chasing their tail here. You guys ever start a workout program and you're all excited and you say, hey, I'm gonna I don't know, maybe you want to add more muscle or you want to lose weight, right? So you start looking at certain diets that might work or might look at certain exercise systems that you want to build, and they're like, oh, okay. Then you get so far down the rabbit hole, you're like, I'll do heavier weights and lower reps on Tuesdays, the 2nd of the month, and then I'll do higher reps, and you don't get started. You don't know what's effective for you. You don't know how to do it. You haven't simplified it. You're not consistent, to Carey's point. You haven't streamlined any of the data, and now you're doing everything. They don't know how they're winning games. They don't know how they're losing games. So you wind up with this average product.
The first thing I'm doing
is going to Mentality.
Is I'm going to visit our friends over at Mentality.
It's really smart. Yeah.
And then after that, I'm going to dedicate myself, pick a program that I know it's going to be successful. So
you're smart.
Quite honestly, all the Cardinals need to do is he'll pick either the South County location or the Chesterfield location, our friends at Mentality, and get in there and get on a program.
Really smart, Jamie.
Well done.
Yeah.
Question number 2.
Really smart.
This question, I love this question. From the 314, with Anthony's Falcons, Jamie's Lions, Carey's Steelers, and Marsh's Vikings, do you guys know of any other radio host not in St. Louis where one of the hosts talks about the Blues and the Cardinals in the same manner? I imagine some poor random city in Maryland that knows too much about be patient with the Cardinals.
That's funny.
That is really good.
Wow.
Hey, I know that people all over the world listen to us, but those are those are radio hosts talking about us.
Right.
Well, Michelle's in New York.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or Bristol.
She's in New York.
She's living
she's
in New York.
That's right.
Working in Bristol, right?
No.
Working in
New York.
Oh,
yeah.
in New York.
Apparently, Bristol is now like a ghost town. Yeah.
Well, that's a massive campus, Anthony. You built that place.
He was there late nights.
The house that
I think it was built well before me by
late nights.
Way more, and I mean significantly more talented people than me.
The story you told me when I first came on board was I built this place.
Yeah.
That Adam Schefter guy's
these
nothing
walls?
without me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Did you ever big league any like Adam Schefter?
Absolutely not.
Did you ever?
Absolutely
Did you
not.
ever not give somebody, or did you ever get a coffee from somebody and not pay them back?
That would be Mike Tannenbaum.
I
Yeah.
mean, he's kind of a big deal.
Yep.
He just power moved.
Probably
him.
why I'm not working there anymore.
He's like,
Anthony
that Stalter owes me a
Yeah.
$5 coffee.
He does. Here's the thing about
Should have had
Mike
Kelly Chase
Tannenbaum.
take the
showed up.
Yeah, no kidding.
our style.
Going back to our Jeremy Rutherford conversation. Here's the thing: you the coffee there was free, so Mike
It
Mike
costs
could
to
have
go
got
get it. Time.
It costs time. Yeah.
It costs time. You cannot repay
So wait,
time.
the coffee was free, and you bought him a coffee?
No, that's what the joke is. He keeps telling everybody I owe him coffee, but the secret is it was free. Starbucks free.
You should have just got him a coffee.
Free Starbucks?
Mm-hmm.
I got.
You should have just paid him $5
just for the Starbucks.
I should have.
I
Yeah,
don't
but I
understand
didn't.
the strategy. And then you got reminded of it several times, and you
Yeah.
still didn't do it.
No. Ryan Clark owes me some do re mi though.
Does he?
Yeah. We sat there in the back, watching the games and things like that. And sometimes I'd be like, hey, Ryan, they're scoring on this drive. He took it every time.
Really? He's a defensive
did,
guy.
huh?
He don't know. He don't know. Defensive guys
Come
don't.
across a guy like that, but yeah,
Ryan Clark is the coolest dude in the world.
he's a great analyst.
Who you know.
That's my guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
I call him RC.
RC.
He likes it.
He does, actually.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We'll continue our Sports Six Pack next.
time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six Pack is now.
5:05, your time check is brought to you by the fine folks at Collection Jewelers. I don't know why I starter step there on that one.
That's like a dramatic pause.
I only read that every single day for the last 10 years.
I don't know what you said.
Clarkson Jewelers. Officially licensed Rolex jeweler.
There you go.
Hamster got off the wheel there for a second. I might need to check the old dome we might be seeing some of the effects of me slamming my face into my parents' pool 2 years ago.
If I can give you some advice,
yeah,
don't get it checked out.
Okay.
Do not.
Don't.
You don't want to know.
You don't want to know. Just ride it out, man.
Cool. Anyways, take two.
Trust
5:06.
us.
Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler.
Look at you go.
Marsh, go.
Question number 3.
This question comes from the Water Boy. No matter who the Blues hire for a head coach, do you think the support staff and coaches will be back for next season? Steve Ott going to stay on? ?
I think this is all going to depend on who they hire. Like, I don't know. You know, if it's Drew Bannister, Drew might want to run it back with Steve Ott and Mike Weber. But, Doug Armstrong, he has the final say. So if Drew Bannister said for some reason that he wanted to change an assistant coach or wanted to keep the existing staff, Army probably say, no, we're doing this or we're doing this. Now, if it's somebody like Rod Brendamore or even Joel Quenneville, if we're just throwing out names, I would imagine they might demand who comes with them. Because the world of coaching in any sport can be very cutthroat at times. And if you don't have your boys on your staff that are protecting you and looking out for you, then sometimes the head coach can be put on an island all by himself, and it's not good. That usually means the head coach might be on his way out quicker than expected. I've seen a lot of things happen, and I'm not saying that's happening here in St. Louis. That's a blanket statement. I've seen assistant coaches that are cutting the head coach at the knees when he's not around. Like just said, yeah, I don't know what he's thinking, man. Like we should be doing this, or and it's just subtle. Or you'll ask a question, be like, yeah, I agree with you, but he doesn't feel the same way. It's just like these little things that happen. I would like to believe that Drew Bannister has a really good relationship with Steve Ott and Mike Weber. It seemed like a really good group to me. But would they all mesh together with Jim Montgomery? I think if Jim Montgomery is the coach here, if for some reason he does come here, which, who knows? I mean, it's a stretch. He knows Steve Ott very well. And, who knows?
What about Drew Bannister? If he were to get the job, does he keep them? Because those weren't his guys. Those were Craig Ruby's guys.
Like I said, it seemed like they had a pretty good mix to me. Now, if Drew Bannister gets the job, will he have the same control or power as one of the bigger names? Or will Army just say, hey, listen, you're the head coach. This is your staff.
Right.
Figure it out.
Gotcha.
Like, I don't know how that would work. Nobody's run it past me yet.
No?
Not yet. Phone's on, though, Army, if you need me.
Yeah, they'll call you.
He's not calling.
Okay. You never know, Jamie. You might.
Question number 4.
It has happened before.
All right, so we were just talking about the Milwaukee Brewers and how they're able to somehow find talent and win baseball games despite having players on their team that, at least for me, I've never heard of half of them. But from the 314, I'd like to also know which player on Milwaukee would you have liked the Cardinals to have signed? Who do you replace on the Cardinals?
I think that's a very valid question. I do. But the bottom line is, and I know where you're coming from. You're like, hey, look at their roster, pick somebody out that you want that you don't want on the Cardinals.
Christian,
but that's kind of the point, though. That's kind of the point, though, isn't it? The Brewers have assembled a team. They haven't collected individual talent, and as a team, they are winning. I got one for you, Freddie Peralta. How about that?
I would definitely do it, but he didn't have the option to do that.
Freddie Peralta, I'll take him.
He didn't have the option to do that. He wasn't available.
Oh. No, it's a well-phrased statement. I know where you're coming from on this. But again, the Brewers have constantly found gems that other teams undervalued either in free agency or on their roster. Willy Adames is a perfect example of this. The Rays kind of used Willy Adames as a utility player. The Brewers made a trade, I think it was in May, for Willy Adames a couple of years ago. Adames has been a really good player for them. William Contreras was...
Boy, he's playing well.
In Atlanta, young player. The Braves found him expendable after getting Sean Murphy. He's been a fantastic player. These are the moves that the Brewers have made.
Oh, no, that was he was with the Cubs. Never mind.
Cody Bellinger?
No, just move on. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Wilson Contreras?
No. No, he's not with the Cubs anymore.
No. Was. Huh.
Yeah.
Question number 5.
Baseman. He was a Cardinal at one point.
Oh, Patrick Wisdom.
Yeah, I
got you. Yep.
Brain farted for a second. That's why I said
Jamie, it happens.
Let's just move on.
Your time check, bro. Oh, God.
Good thing it's digital.
Yeah.
From the 314, what would you guys think about if all sports playoffs were one and done? Would that call for better games?
It'd be terrible.
No. It wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good for NBA, NHL, or baseball.
No.
It wouldn't. You can't have one and done in baseball when it's a marathon season like it is. You just can't.
And normally, 7-game series, the best team usually wins. Like NCAA tournament, anyone can win one game.
Mm-hmm.
But does Oakland beat Kentucky if they play 7 times? Do they beat them 4? Probably not. But you play them one time, you got a chance to really beat the hell out of a team. So I think it would be terrible.
Yeah, I think
NFL is its own. We're our own entity. We only play one game a week. We're tough guys. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see the 4 out of 7.
I wouldn't
in a 10-day span.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, right.
Can you imagine?
That'd be bad.
It would be the worst football you ever saw in your life. Thursday night is almost there.
You might as well if you're going to do that, just have them in flags.
Thursday. You know how bad I would feel on a Thursday?
I bet.
I got to do this again. Yeah, it's time.
But then you get a full week, though.
Yeah, no one cares until the game is over.
Nobody's thinking about it.
Until the game is over, you're like, got some time. Going into that thing, you're like,
man,
I don't have enough time.
I think I just played.
I kind of did.
I know I did.
Kind of did.
All right. We got one more.
We got one more.
All right.
Question number 6.
Trying to stay on clock.
You're doing a really good job staying on it.
Okay. Clock, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
From the 661, we were just talking about football. Who's the worst draft pick in NFL history? Recent history, all time, I don't care. You pick.
Well, what's his name has to be up there.
I got to go.
Ryan Leaf has to
Ryan
be up
Leaf
there.
is bad.
I mean,
go
he
with
started as an
Jamarcus
NFL
Russell.
draft pick, ended up in jail, so before he made any impact in football.
Yeah. True.
I mean, that's just not great.
Very true.
What about Trent Richardson?
That was really bad.
That was really bad.
The Colts. Is he the cheeseburger guy?
No, that's Eddie Lacy.
Yeah, Eddie Lacy.
That's right. Packers. Alabama running back.
Yeah. Yep.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I gotta go with Jamarcus Russell.
Is he really worse than Ryan Leaf? No.
He was number 1.
Well, Ryan Leaf was what, 2nd?
Yeah.
Jamarcus Russell actually played, though.
Not well.
I know.
Not great.
Yeah. Same thing for Leaf.
Almost.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I mean, either way.
Does Trey Lance get in that conversation?
I don't know if he can yet.
Yeah.
Well, they traded picks for that
his
guy.
time is coming.
Yeah.
When they get rid of Dak, you watch what happens.
He'll be there.
Yeah, that one was bad.
Belichick takes over. Trey Lance starting QB. Watch.
I'll give you another one that people might disagree on because he did fall, but Johnny Manziel has got to be one of the biggest draft busts because Cleveland, like all teams, the warning signs were all around us.
Yeah.
With Johnny Manziel, they knew before the draft, and when I say they, I mean NFL teams knew before the draft that this dude partied, did not have a strong work ethic, didn't really need football, didn't really care too much, and Cleveland just got duped. Like he texted, I think, with somebody that night, with Cleveland and said, hey, let's wreck the league. And Cleveland was like, yeah, let's do this. And he got there.
He literally meant, let's wreck the league.
That's right, yeah.
Best as we can.
They didn't realize he said, let's wreck your franchise.
Yeah. You're a Chicago guy, I think. Kevin
Detroit.
White. Detroit.
California,
sorry.
It's Detroit, California.
The receiver from
West Virginia for the Bears.
There's a couple. Tony Mandridge.
Tony Mandridge all the time. Yep.
Kevin White comes because they were so excited.
At least Tony Mandridge ended up back in the league, though.
Yeah.
He ended up actually playing a number of years, but it took him a while.
Yeah.
Does Josh Rosen not get on that list?
Oh, Josh Rosen's a bad one.
Lawrence Phillips.
Lawrence Phillips was terrible. I mean, there's a bunch, but if I'm just going to go with one, I still think I'm going to side with Jamarcus Russell. But you really can't go wrong with.
Got quite a few good horses in that race.
Yes, we do.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, too bad.
All right, it's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We got some mic drops on the Cardinals segment. We were talking about have the Cardinals lost their way. Drew weighed in, so did Courtney. We'll get to them next on 101 ESPN.
It's allergy season. I know that every morning I wake up and something's going on, and I don't always have the answers to try and figure out what to take. I don't have to worry about it. I head over to the medicine shop in St. Charles. The staff over there is phenomenal at what they do. And when it comes to cold, flu, allergy season, they have answers for me. And they have great suggestions, and they keep me going every day. And they're going to do the same for you because their customer service is fantastic. And fellas, if you're currently using ED meds, you're probably paying too much for them. That little blue pill, the gummy thing, nobody cares, first of all, but the medicine shop is your destination for cheap ED meds. They've got sildenafil for less than $2 a pill. Prescription, of course, is required. And again, if you have medicines that you require on a regular basis, just sign up for their free discreet shipping and delivery to your home or your workplace. I use it on a regular basis. Obviously, schedule's crazy. I'm in town, out of town, can't get to the pharmacy. I don't have to worry about it. The medicine shop comes to me, and I truly appreciate it. So please take the time and visit their facility, their pharmacy over there in St. Charles, or visit them online at stcharles.pharmacy. That's stcharles.pharmacy.
right, so we got some mic drops on our Cardinals-related topic when we were talking about whether or not the Cardinals have lost their way from a front office standpoint, because The Athletic put together an article where they interviewed 40 execs from Major League Baseball and had them hand out like first place votes and rank the front offices around Major League Baseball. Our St. Louis Cardinals did not receive a vote, like at all. They weren't the only team, and they weren't even the only team in the division. The Cubs also didn't receive any votes. But as Jamie noted, who cares what us bozos think about the front office? Other execs around Major League Baseball are also saying similar things about the Cardinals. They're behind it. So, we threw it out to you. What are your thoughts? Do you think the Cardinals have kind of lost their way, or is this just what happens sometimes, and they're trying to rebuild it, and they will rebuild or retool on the fly, and they're going to be fine? Drew left us a mic drop. Let's get to him first.
Yeah, I think that's a really tough question, and my problem with the whole thing is that it's easy to bash Mo for giving up on a Rosarina and Garcia, but everyone gave up on Garcia. But at the same time, I mean, Nolan Arenado, great move. Goldie, great move. No one's given him enough credit for this Jojo Romero for Edmundo Sosa deal. I mean, that was probably one of the biggest deals in recent memory. Kittredge is awesome out of the pen. Helsley's better. The problem with the Cardinals is they have the talent. You look at the lineup up and down, there's no reason why that lineup shouldn't be firing on all cylinders. I think the problem is with Oliver Marmol. He doesn't carry the Cardinal way in the way that it should be carried, which is by fun, strong, fundamental baseball. I mean, the best game the Cardinals played all year was on the night Whitey Herzog passed, and they played Whitey ball. They bunted, they hit sac flies, they stole bases. They manufactured runs and found a way to win on the curtail of Sonny Gray's best start. That's what you're going to have to do. They're not hitting home runs. And so the Cardinals of old, though, always found a way to win. And I think that this team, with the lockdown 7 to 9 inning, can find that way to win again if they get rid of Marmol and start embracing the young speed and talent that they do have around Nolan Arenado, and hopefully Goldschmidt starts firing on all cylinders again. Also, Andre Palante sucks.
All right, Drew, thanks for the mic drop on that one there. A little bit of a kick in the keister on the way out the door there to Andre Palante. Not even here anymore. But Anthony,
he didn't hear it.
The start of what Drew said brings me back to last year. You and I sat in this very studio, and we had just finished playing the lineup game. And the Cardinals were terrible. They stunk. Mm-hmm. And we looked at the lineup, and we went, that's a pretty good lineup.
Right.
Like top to bottom, like who would you take out of this lineup? Like obviously if you could add Mike Trout, you're taking, but realistically, legitimately, you're like, okay, so your 1 through 6 is pretty damn solid.
Yeah.
And after that, like, so it is true. Like it's weird that this lineup, when you look at it, is like, all right, that's a pretty good lineup. But then for 2 seasons straight now, at least this part of the season, they have failed.
Yeah.
It's weird, man.
So okay, so let's play the hypothetical game here for a second. Let's talk what Drew just threw it out there, right? He's kind of pinpointing things with the manager. Do you guys think that an older, experienced manager would unlock the players that they have now?
It's possible. And the only reason I say that, and I'm not an Ollie hater. You know what? I haven't been an Ollie hater. There's things that he says and doesn't. It's like, it doesn't matter how old he is, or how many years he's got in the league. I'm like, I'm going to either love it or hate it. Mm-hmm. But sometimes the old dogs, man, they just know. They've seen it. They've had a player like you before in their managerial career. They've helped a certain player in a certain way. They've done different things. They've failed and then learned how to not fail. Mm-hmm. There's something to be said about an experienced coach or manager that sometimes can help players through or unlock certain things.
Hypotheticals are so hard for me. Like because I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Dusty Baker was your manager, if this lineup would be performing better. I don't know if Joe Madden was your manager. I don't know, because I don't know which version of that player is going to show up at that time at the plate. And so I don't know if the manager changes that for an Arenado or a Goldschmidt or whomever. It's just it's too hard to tell, but I do know with what we have right now, you got to perform every day. And again, baseball is such a long season. And if this team did not lose 91 games last year, we would not be having this conversation. We would be, it's a rough start for the guys, But pitching has been good. We got some things to build on. We would be looking at it through a completely different lens. But when you are seeing the same thing from a 91-loss season, it becomes concerning. And then you couple that with, well, what have they done in the playoffs? First round exit. Well, what about the last time? Oh, they got beat up in the NLCS. Well, when's the last time they won a championship? And you start going back. Well, when's the last time they made it to the World Series? It's been a while. When's the last time they won? That's when it starts to compile on year after year after year, and you're starting to feel like this is not good enough. It has to be better. How do you make it better? And we don't have the answer for that, because if we did, I wouldn't be sitting here with you all. I'd be downtown getting.
I'd like to think that you'd still be friends with us, Carey.
I'd be friends with you.
Right here with us in the fast lane from 2 to 6.
Yeah, probably.
I believe that. So. All right, let's play Courtney's mic drops just so we can pay off that tease, and let's hear from Courtney. Then we'll get moving here with Brad Thompson.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm the one that sent in that question that you all had the other day about if the Cardinals are relevant outside of St. Louis. Mm-hmm. Yes, that was me. And I asked that question that day because I had a relative that lived in Atlanta, and he was the same relative that told me about Jordan Walker before the Cardinals even drafted him. So I knew about Jordan Walker before he even got drafted by the Cardinals because of what my relative was telling me. Like, there's this man-child here that's killing the baseball in high school, and he's going to be a phenom. And he called me the other day, and he was like, what is going on with St. Louis Cardinals as a franchise, and what is going on with Jordan Walker, because he looks lost in St. Louis. And I had no answer. I said, I'm wondering what the hell is going on with the franchise as well as many other Cardinal fans. And I don't know what's going on with Jordan Walker either. I told him I think it has something to do with development in the organization because their prospects are becoming average.
Well, you're not wrong. We're seeing it now with Jordan Walker specifically. And there are questions about the organization's ability to develop some of these young guys. But we'll save that maybe for tomorrow. Got plenty of time. Brad Thompson is going to join us next. Cardinals did win today, so we'll pick BT's brain about today's game and also on Jordan Walker's demotion next on 101 ESPN.
Anthony, our friends over at Mentality, I mean, they always do such an incredible job with everyone that goes over there. But, even though you're on a program, every now and then you need to tweak a few things as things start to change and whatnot. And I was talking to Angel just last week about how I wanted to continue to, optimize my workout programs and whatnot. She made a nice suggestion to me adding a different vitamin into my program, and it's been awesome. And I can't thank them enough for everything that they've done. And, I know you have gone through the process as well, and it can be nerve-wracking at times to be told the truth about what's going on. But, man, once you figure it out and once you're a part of the group over at Mentality, life sure does change.
Well, what do you want, right? Do you want to have more focus throughout the day, more energy throughout the day? Do you want to feel like you did when you were younger and able to take on tasks and not have to worry about, reaching for that extra cup of coffee or energy drink, because that's what mentality is there for. The program is good, is fantastic. And if you're low on testosterone, a lot of those things that we're talking about, the low energy, the mood swings, and you're feeling irritable and all that stuff, that's all common symptoms of low testosterone. Well, once you start to get on Mentality's program, a lot of that goes away, and it's like, man, I feel great. I'm gonna go to the gym today, and then you develop those healthy routines again. But you do have to get started. So what do you want? Do you want to be healthier? If you want to be healthier, give Mentality a try. LowTUSA.com, or go down and visit them. 2 locations, one in Chesterfield, one in South County. Tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you in there. You're going to start feeling great pretty soon. Mentality.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals pick up a victory today, 5-1 over the Arizona Diamondbacks. Kyle Gibson, who started today, went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 earned run, walked 2, and struck out 6. We're going to talk with BT coming up next about today's game and what's going on with your St. Louis Cardinals. If you missed anything from today's show, including our interview with Jeremy Rutherford, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. It's time for some high heat with Brad Thompson. Stay tuned right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time time for some high heat with BT on 101 ESPN. Inside and high.
Powered by Scott Lee Heating Company, your preferred Mitsubishi Electric Elite contractor. Visit ScottLeeHeating.com.
There's no excuse for Thompson throwing at the head of right.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. We head to our 101 ESPN Celebrity Line. We're joined by our guy, Brad Thompson, for a little high heat following a Cardinals 5-1 victory over the Arizona Diamondbacks today. BT, how are you, brother?
I'm so glad we're talking today after the day game rather than maybe this morning beforehand.
Why? Can't imagine why.
What happened last night?
Boy, yeah, well, it happens. Sometimes
Sure.
you get your brakes beat off. I know, that's for sure. But yeah, a lot better after today. How you guys doing?
We're doing great, especially again after today as opposed to last
let's
night.
just talk about today.
Yeah,
That's what I said. That's what I've been trying to get the guys to do.
Present.
Yeah.
Really?
BT, Kyle Gibson pitched very well today. Now, he got into the one jam, what was it, the fifth inning maybe, where he settled in, and it wound up being kind of the turning point in the game. What did he do in that inning, or just overall, to kind of stymie an Arizona lineup that, they didn't have Marte, they didn't have Gurriel, but look, a lot of those guys that were in there today had some impact last night. So what did Gibson do today that was highly effective?
Yeah, look, two jams, right? One in the first inning
Good
where
call.
it could have gotten off the rails quickly, and he ended up getting a 6-4-3 double play with the bases loaded in the first. Only gave up the one run there. It was Christian Walker had a sacrifice fly, but really could have been derailed early. And you're right, that one in the fifth inning, he gives up a single to Tucker Barnhart. He ends up walking Pavin Smith, and all of a sudden, here we go. Well, he punches out both Blaze Alexander and Jock Peterson, then gets a weak ground ball off that same Christian Walker. You know how dangerous he is. The thing is with Kyle Gibson is he knows how to pitch. I mean, this is a guy that knows himself so well. The sinker and the cutter were working. As you guys know, that splits the plate in half, and a ball's going to go either direction, right? Sinking in towards the righty or cutting away from him. And he used his off-speed very effectively. He stayed on the ground, and I thought that he broke it down perfectly after the game. He said, I always know, especially with this defense behind me, I'm one pitch away from getting out of something. So, yeah, it snowballed a little bit in the first inning. Pavin Smith had that little dunker over the head of Arenado. Blaze Alexander singled. Then he hit Jock Peterson in the back of the leg. All of a sudden, it was like, oh, crap, here we go. After getting beat 14-1, we have bases loaded, nobody out. But he got out of it. And to me, that's the veteran poise. That's the guy that has been there, done that, instead of a young guy trying to throw himself through an inning like that. Kyle pitched himself through an inning like that, and fortunately the offense was there to back him up.
BT, kind of sticking with the theme today, and not necessarily the game per se, but obviously the big news this morning was Jordan Walker being reassigned down to Memphis. You know, what do you make of the situation for Jordan Walker, and what does the young man have to do to get back here?
Yeah, first of all, I think it was the right move to do for Jordan Walker, and it's something that I know that they've been pondering for a little while now. You look at the numbers, and it's easy to defend the move, but it's less about that, and it's just more about his development, and it's more about it's about developing him, first of all, and then it's also like what gives you the best chance to win at the big league level right now. And right now, letting him work through all of these swing issues that he's going through at this level, it's really not helping. It's not helping him. It's not helping the club, especially since he is not a net benefit defensively. I know it's easy to look at a guy like Michael Ciani. You see he's hitting whatever he's hitting and say, well, why isn't he down? Because he plays a great center field. Like, there is a net benefit to having him out there in the outfield. That is why he is still there. So for Walker, the second part of what does he have to do, he needs to be able to elevate the baseball. We went through this last year, right? But I know he hit 278 or whatever it was last year. He's not going to ever be the player that everyone expects him to be if he's on the ground all the time. He's got 4 doubles on the season. 3 of them are ground balls down the third base line. Yes, they're doubles, but this isn't where damage is done. Damage is done in the air. You guys watch a lot of baseball. It's You need doubles in the gap. You need home runs. And his swing is not conducive to it. You watch that lower half. He's very disconnected in his swing. So I think that's going to be the big mission for him, is getting his upper and lower half synced up where his lower half is not heading into the third base dugout before he is even really getting the bat through the zone. Because in the big leagues, these guys don't make as many mistakes. Do they make mistakes? Of course they do, but there's not as many. And he's getting abused away right now, and he's getting beat up on fastballs. He's hitting 125 against the heater right now, and he's on the ground 50% of the time. Those are things that they want him to be able to work on without having a bunch of microphones in his face after each and every game saying, hey, why'd you go over on this one, when he's trying to revamp a swing. You guys know how hard it is to change something you've been doing your entire life, and he's trying to do this at the highest level. He's 21 years old. He's got an incredibly high ceiling, but I think that for his development, I believe that they made the right decision here.
BT, I'm looking at the standings right now. Cardinals obviously, winners of 2 of their last 3, but still at the bottom of the Central Division. What is it going to take for them to have that consistency to climb out of that hole and potentially put themselves in a place to where they can win this division?
Carey, they got to hit, man. That's all there is to it. They have to hit. The pitching has been better than it was a year ago, for sure. Yeah, there are some clunkers every once in a while, like yesterday's 14-1 beatdown. But they have to hit, and they have to hit with runners in scoring position. They have to hit for power. The Cardinals coming into action today, 16 home runs. That's 15th in the last in the National League. I think it's like 3rd to last in all of baseball. It's not sustainable, and I also don't believe that it is what this team is. You know what Goldie is supposed to be and what he's been. You know Arenado, what he's supposed to be and what he has been. You believe in the ceiling of Gorman. You know what Contreras is doing right now. So the power is going to be there for this club. But at the end of the day, there have been so many games this year where 1 or 2 hits during the ball game flips the score on its head, and they haven't done it. So the offense, to me, is the biggest key. The pitching staff, I believe, is going to be fine. The bullpen has been incredible. 7-8-9 with however it flips with JoJo and Kittredge, 7-8, and then Helsley at the back end, who we saw today, non-save situation, but he was able to lock it down. That looks great. You're still going to get Riley O'Brien back. You're still going to get Keenan Middleton back, so you'll have reinforcements. They'll be fresh, but they have to be able to hit, and that's been the maddening part.
Brad Thompson joins us right now in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. BT, I know it's early. I know you've only seen a handful of opponents, but when it comes to maybe some early trends in Major League Baseball, have you been impressed with, for example, I know we don't like the Brewers, but have you been impressed with what the Brewers have done? And when you just watched them over the weekend, was there an element to their game that you think is missing for the Cardinals?
No, honestly, and I'm being very serious when I say that. And that's not just Cardinal Brad saying, no, we got beat by a team that's not that good. They were better than you over the weekend, and their record absolutely says that they have been better than you. But I don't look at the Brewers and be like, oh, yeah, they're going to be fantastic. Like, this is just how it's set up. I don't believe that they have the pitching. I really don't think that they have the depth there. And the one thing that stands out to you with the Brewers on paper, and it was in practice against the Cardinals, is they have hit in the clutch this year. Well, we'll see. We'll see if that continues to happen throughout the season for them. But I look at their roster, and I'm being incredibly honest about this. I don't think they have a better roster than the Cardinals. I truly believe the Cardinals have a better roster, but they have the better record at this point. So how does it end up shaking out? What do you guys think? Like, when you're looking at the Brewers, their players head-to-head against the Cardinals players, do you believe that they are as far ahead of the Cardinals as they are potentially right now in the standings?
You look at them on paper, and no. I mean, we even did that going into the series. I think we had the conversation on Friday. We opened it up by saying, look, you look at these 2 teams on paper, and the 2 records should be flipped based on talent alone. So, no, to answer your question, as an organization, it almost seems like the Brewers have done a better job of late of finding guys that are undervalued in other teams and bringing them in. But again, you should have better production than some of these offensive numbers that you output for the Cardinals. If you got Arenado and you've got Goldschmidt, if you got Contreras, I mean, you should be better overall. The only thing I would point out is that the Cardinals, we talk so much, Brad, about runners in scoring position and the numbers being down there. You're also not getting enough guys on base, so you're not getting enough bites at the apple. So that when if you get more guys on base consistently, I mean, over time, you're going to drive in more runners. So I think if you can get on base more frequently, those runners in scoring position numbers will start to pop up. But
no, you're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right with that. And, okay, so what was one of the bigger differences today, right? We talked about some of the offense. Obviously, Newt was able to get that big double late to extend the lead. But one of the bigger differences, to your point, is Donovan got on base twice. Mm-hmm. He had a couple of hits, and that ends up being a difference. When Donovan is doing that, he singled in the first, he singled in the sixth, ended up coming around to score there. It changes things. It changes a lot of things. So you're right. You have to have table setters, but you got to be able to clear it. And right now, there is no way to look past their runners in scoring position issues because they are what they are. They're one of the worst teams in baseball right now with runners in scoring position. Currently, 197 is the average. There are two teams that have a worse average than them. Those teams are the Twins and the White Sox, and the White Sox are absolutely abysmal. I think they've been shut out 8 times. That's hard to do. It's not great, Jamie. It's not fantastic. And the inverse of that is, as we were talking about, the Brewers as a club are the best in baseball right now with runners in scoring position, a 332 clip. I just don't believe with the roster that they currently have that is sustainable. So we will find out, and that's why you play 162 games. There's no question that the Cardinals have to play better baseball. They know it, and they're also only going to go as far as their stars go. Goldie's got to hit, and he's got to hit for power. Arenado has got to hit, and he's got to hit for power. I know that we've seen his last 12 games, especially, he's been very good. Ever since Game 1 against Arizona in Arizona, he has looked like a different guy at the plate. That's when he hit his first and only home run of the season. But there's got to be more there from a power standpoint, because if those guys aren't carrying the freight offensively, just like any team, if your big guys don't do it, you aren't going to win. That's just all there is to it.
No doubt. BT, love chatting with you each and every Wednesday here in the Fast Lane, and we'll chat with you again next week. Have a good rest of your week.
Guys, you have a great rest of the week, and I miss you all. It's been too long. I got to come in. We got to hang out.
Yeah,
you don't call.
Absolutely.
You don't write.
We called
today.
Yeah. You picked come down and see you one night, BT, is what I'm going to do.
Please do.
Yeah.
Come on in.
We'll go together. I didn't invite you.
Team out.
I invited my
green
damn
seats
self.
for everybody. Green seats. Let's go.
Yes.
Did you hear him?
Yeah.
BT's getting us green seats.
Make sure we got that.
BT. All right, buddy. We'll see you.
Just remember, I said green seats, not mine. Pony up. You guys get ready. Here we go. We'll see you soon.
See you, buddy.
There's the lawyer.
I was waiting for him to say, they're chips. Just use those.
That would be funny.
All right, we got Bet the Board 3 stars of the day. Criticisms, compliments next on 101 ESPN.
Are you in the market to sell your home right now? Springtime is usually a hot time for selling your home, but there are some things you need to know. Price for one thing, and then, there's options for the seller and the buyer. Don't waste your time. Call Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria has been doing this for so long, and she knows the right time to put your house on the market. She knows the right price that you should be asking. And one thing Gloria does is she gets you to the closing table. And that's why she's always my first call. And the reason she's so confident in all of this is she's got a database with thousands of buyers that are ready to purchase your home. What that does, that creates more traffic to your listing, which is what you want. And then maybe it creates multiple offers, which in the end creates more money for you in your pocket. And that's what we're looking for. Sell your home, get that money, but you got to call Gloria Lou. Her number is 314-325-6888. Again, that's 314-325-6888, or you can visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast right there at 101sports.com, or you can check us out on the 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. All right, let's bet that board here in the Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Marsh, you got updated standings for us, kid?
Yeah, I do. I'm still sitting in first place with 11 wins. I lost yesterday, so 11-6. Anthony, you're 9-8. Carey and Jamie are both tied at 7-10.
Yeah, comeback trail, baby. I got faith in us, Carey.
I don't know if we got enough time.
Yeah, we got plenty of time.
You got a week-ish?
Yeah, we're fine.
Okay.
You're good. You guys are locked
What do you
in.
got, Marsh?
All right, so one of our texters,
it's not a bad call.
One of our texters from the 302 had a bet go through. They actually shared it with us, and said texter won a decent amount. So I looked towards this texter today for some information regarding who I wanted to roll with.
Insider trading.
And this texter says the Cubs to dump the reeling Astros. So I'm going to take the Cubs money line tonight. I hate to do it, but I'm rolling with the person that won.
Wow, that's disgusting.
Really playing.
I was talking with a hockey insider that I know. I was looking for a certain angle when it came to certain lines, line combinations, and things like that. And thanks to some help, I wound up with Tomas Hertl to get a point tonight for Vegas at -102. Tomas Hertl to record a point tonight against Dallas.
That's a pretty good. It's a pretty good play. He's a second-line center, first power play unit, net front presence. I mean, guys like that find points.
So my hockey guy told me too. So
smart
good.
guy.
I'm glad we're all on the same page here. Nice.
I'm going to go to Houston Astros -110.
Oh, you're fading Marshy.
That was a good play.
It's a great play.
He's looking to double up here. I see what you're doing. He loses, you win.
Got to get back in the game.
Yeah, I don't blame
And he
you.
did it to me.
I don't blame you.
That guy.
Hey, I stayed away from the NBA.
Yeah,
I went
today.
NBA and I lost.
Jamie.
Yeah, Anthony, I'm going to take some of the advice that you got.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go a different route. Dallas Stars are -170 in this game. I don't know why. I'm going to Vegas Golden Knights. They're built for playoffs, man. I got the Golden Knights tonight.
Nice.
They're +145.
On those players.
Tomas Hertl with the game-winning goal
Hat-trick.
or assist.
Hat-trick tonight.
Yeah. Marsh, what do you got for 3 stars?
All right. Our third star of the day goes to our fake play-by-play man, Steve Euchre.
Steve Euchre. Yeah.
Milwaukee Brewers.
Absolutely.
Cleveland Indians.
Yeah. It's the Cleveland Brewers.
Yep.
That's who Steve
Bob's cousin
works for.
Our second star of the day goes to Anthony's iPod.
Oh.
Wherever it may be.
Wherever it is. The shuffle.
I mean, somebody probably stole it.
I doubt it. Like, highly doubt it.
Historical value.
Songs on there.
It's an antique.
Yeah.
I've had it for over 10 years. There's a lot of songs built up there.
I don't even know how to get back to that. I don't know.
Very disappointed.
Anthony, I'm really sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
And our first star of the day
Harry's laughing.
goes to BT's Green Seats.
Nice job, BT.
Shout out to 636.
They don't exist, though. We don't have them.
No, yeah. It'd be nice, though. Be nice to have them. All right, we've got some great programming coming up. We got an instant replay next on 101 ESPN. So for Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Appreciate everybody tuned in throughout the course of the day. See ya.